Cut.
I'll leave it at the 4.
It depends on what this guy's annual salary is, what his net worth is.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of determining factors on if I would stay with a guy with a 3-inch penis.
And again, if you read that article,
I think a guest house and some summer vacations would probably do the trick.
Oh, really?
there was a guy at Hito had no. He was like,
I don't know.
It was like you couldn't see it.
Like a Ken doll?
No, it was
Turtle?
Yeah, it was kind of like that. It was like, and he was kind of like Plowsy with just a huge bush.
I appreciate it. Luckily, at least you can
and you
see
just,
mine.
you just saw,
Didn't need that description.
You just saw a little nub.
Nubbins for lovin's.
Oh, I can imagine you're about growing your
It must not have bothered him if he's walking around Hito.
That's what's good about Hito is nobody body shames at Hito. Everybody.
So in that situation, if we can take ourselves back to the Jamaican sex resort that we rarely talk about on the show.
Hardly ever.
What's it called again?
Hito.
H-E-D-O-N.
I stopped talking about it.
But in that situation, is it going to be difficult for he and his wife to find a couple?
Guy. He was a single guy.
He's a single guy.
Yeah.
This is a bull with a button.
Yeah, he was. He wasn't hooking up with anything.
Is your pinky about 3 inches?
Cut.
5.
I'll take Sun Jung Im, who I already picked. And
Yeah, 20 picks ago.
Now you got 7,900.
Wait, you can't be going through the ones you already dropped out of there.
I picked. I'm trying to get out of the number.
So now you're just picking your own
They're
players.
all low-number players. What difference does it make?
You picked them out of a box, and now you're going to re-pick them?
No, I picked them out of a box, so that's who I should pick.
So you are looking at your players this week.
It's a game of skill.
I have to get under the price point.
You pick out of the box to get under the...
All right, Jackson, so with
You
Sun
can't just pick and choose your
Im
players.
and Poulter. I'm not. I'm taking the ones that I
All right,
picked.
Im and Poulter.
Oh, God almighty.
In the bag.
Cheating bastard.
We've got 5 minutes to wrap this.
5 minutes. We've been told 5 minutes. There was
Okay.
market manager John Kiowski appearing in the doorway.
Heaven's sakes.
Getting your ass kicked and just trying to cheat.
I'm not cheating. I'm blindly picking names.
I
You're
hope
blindly
Doug
picking them. They're all laying on your suspension log
There
mule.
was a couple that
That's
I
not
tried to
blind.
pick to get under. I had to pick those to get under the amount.
I can't wait to meet the owners and say, this is Doug. He cheated.
Cut.
6.
We finished up supper, which might have been Bill's best work to date. The slow stewing of that meatloaf in a thick, humid brine, combined with the charred crust he was able to get with a cast iron skillet, was nothing short of sensational.
Oh.
He was being modest instead, crediting the contractors that were in his house, filling his bowl with their pungent broth consisting of pineapple yogis and crumb cakes, which really broke down the fibers of the meat, yielding a firm yet chewy texture.
What in the world?
That sounds awesome.
But Bill was really here for one thing, which was to swap gerbils.
Oh.
As I retrieved Manny from my boy cavity, he did the same with Tammy. We always knew our gerbils had a connection, and as I bid farewell to Manny for the month of March, they stole a quick gerbil kiss. Their tongues, our tongues, speak to me. Tell me what you see. His droppings became my soppings. Think about it, Doug.
No, okay.
Tunnels
That did it.
12,000.
That did it. Tunnels 12,000 has been severely suspended.
Well, that's
the
different.
charges have been trebled 6 days' time. Nobody says your droppings have become my soppings. No one has ever said that, nor should they have. There's no reason to ever say that. And it was said right here.
And those were the cuts of the week.
Rosalitas know that a fun happy hour and scenic patio go together like fresh guac and chips. So take advantage of their covered patio this fall and winter at their De Pere location and enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6. Their sparkling margarita is made with Chambord raspberry liqueur and topped with a bottle of Rosé Prosecco. They also have a variety of delicious margarita flavors, including mango, pomegranate, and blood orange, all made with top-shelf tequila and Cointreau. With phenomenal service, great margaritas, and a breathtaking atmosphere, there's always a reason to come to Rosalitas.
I get asked all the time by people, if I'm in an accident, what should I do? And while yes, you should call the police, exchange insurance information, and take pictures of the scene, all those things are important. But the most important thing you need to do is hire a personal injury lawyer. This is Doug Biggs from Longo Biggs Injury Law. And if you've been hurt by someone else's negligence, don't take on the insurance company yourself. Insurance companies have teams of people and a playbook designed to keep you running in circles so they can pay you as little money as possible for your accident claim. If you don't have a lawyer, they know you can't bring your claim to court, and they will never give you full value. We recently took an offer from an insurance company without a lawyer on the case from $12,000 to $200,000. You can't get that kind of result without an attorney on your case. Even if you don't hire us, you need to hire a personal injury attorney. Check us out online at longobigs.com.
Do you want to support the EDF Group as a sponsor of TMA? Well, it's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher where you work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hot and will prevent your facility from having hot fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at theedfgroup.com.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
I'm Tim McKernan here with Action Jackson talking to you about Mark Hanna. TMA listeners have a lot to think through financially, whether it be saving up for their child's education or planning for their own retirement and everything in between.
Whether you're like me and just getting started with your financial planning or you're already retired, call Mark Hanna.
It all starts with a 15-minute phone call to discuss your needs and design the right strategy for you and your future.
Visit evergreenstl.com or give Mark a call at 314-889-0503 today. Mark Hanna offers securities through Equitable Advisors and insurance and annuity products through Equitable Network, LLC.
When we think of a real estate agent, we think of somebody simply selling our home or finding us a new one. I mean, they're all the same, right?
Okay, here's the comps. We'll take some pics, we'll post them, and I'll get back to you, okay?
A home is life-changing, and your real estate agent should reflect that. Honesty, integrity, and someone who will go above and beyond to make your dreams come true.
The Jeff Lotman Group with Compass Realty. We're different because you're different. We want what you want. Experience the difference today at jefflotman.com, bringing people and properties together.
All right, here we go. Here's something new. Announcing the first ever TMA Hit and Giggle. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Benefiting the Megan Meyer Foundation. Friday, October 6th at Family Golf and Learning Center. It's a 9-hole par 3 tournament full of threesomes. Oh, geez. And it's a walking course, so if you're a walrus, start getting in shape. Your $55 ticket includes 9 holes, beer from Mich Ultra, and lunch or dinner depending on your tee time. Plus shipping and putting contests for our degenerate gamblers. You'll also get to see Iggy's Long Drive Challenge. Brought to you by Sauter Appraisal. Can he hit it 210, 220, maybe 223? Who knows? But it should be a fun day no matter what. The first ever TMA Hit and Giggle. Brought to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. Better than ever for you, their customer. And Family Golf and Learning Center. They make St. Louis better at golf. Visit familygolfonline.com. Tickets are on sale now. Get all of the Hit and Giggle info now at tmastl.com. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the morning after on KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the morning after STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
707 in St. Louis, you are listening to The Morning After. Still unsponsored. Place your sponsorship here, Doug.
Well, I
think Sound Story's going to buy it, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that'd be good.
No.
That'd be great.
All right, fine.
Well, done.
Maybe we'll do the phone lines. Maybe
Actually,
we'll do the 8
that's,
o'clock hour. Maybe we'll do the 9 o'clock hour. I don't know.
Oh.
We're considering all options. We're in the Michelob Ultra Studios. You can text in the EDF Group text inbox 314-881-TMA5. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Sullivan Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode. The Plowhawk is vacationing this week, and so Jackson Burkett will be on the 1s and 2s, and KG and O-Town is in the Seckman Studios? Rockwood School District Studios?
Is that what that is? Yeah.
What are they called?
Segment Studios Fox C6 School District.
Nice.
Oh. What does the C6 mean?
Yeah, what does that stand for?
Cuck.
Oh, gosh.
Cuck 6.
That is correct, actually. That refreshed my memory.
Yeah, Kirkwood is always R7.
What does that stand for?
I don't know.
Cuck?
Recuck, I guess. I don't know. Why do we need that? Well,
It's 7:10. What the F, guys? That's from Bobo Brazil, Doug, and he is not happy in the YouTube chat.
He used to be on Wrestling at the Chase, Bobo Brazil.
Well, he's in the YouTube chat now.
Okay.
And he is none too pleased with the start of the program. Jackson, would you like to issue an apology? This is your chance.
My bad.
Look at that passion.
Yeah, it's my bad.
What do you think you can do to get better?
Focus on the fundamentals.
Okay. All right.
Regroup, and then come back with a appetite for greatness.
Okay.
God, I like that.
Yeah. That's nice word salad, and we like it.
It's like Rob, man. 7:10. Unprecedented. That's from Ken's wedding
Gosh.
toast.
We disappointed the listeners right out of the chute.
There's a shot of Nathan McKinnon and Cole Kmet. Jackson, do you have the text line up?
I forgot about that. I don't. I guess I pulled it
What
up.
happened?
Jackson stunned me and Jamie Rivers on Balloon Party last week by saying that the top duos in respective sports, Mahomes, Kelsey, obvious. You said Ohtani, Trout makes sense in baseball, even though that might not necessarily be production-wise, but certainly most recognizable, I think. And then he busted out the McDavid and Draisaitl out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But then also said it could be McKinnon and Cole Kmet. Of course, Cole Kmet not playing with the Avalanche this year, but rather the Bears tight end.
So I lost what equity he might have gained.
It did seem to upset the Balloon Party listeners more than they rewarded you for the Draisaitl McDavid play. And that's really off-brand.
Right.
No, people would much rather pounce on someone who makes a mistake than to praise someone who does something good.
Right. 100%. Yeah, I messed up. Cole Kmet, though. I mean, those hands in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you say now about Justin Fields?
Yeah, we're the Justin Fields haters now.
Right.
I don't know.
Just ignore the fourth quarter.
Don't know that there's a lot you even can say at this point.
Welcome to Cooktober. Brady Stiffarm, a.k.a. Heisman, going to run LSU by 3 scores. That's from Larry Thornton, and I'm a Larry Thornton lover.
Amen.
You were at the game in Nashville, weren't you?
I was. It was a pony.
Doug, I think perhaps more so than ever, today is one of the greatest Sadie Hawkins in the history of sports. I'm really trying to get on Get Up or First Take. Maybe Get Up, then First Take. Family wants to move to Jersey.
You better start screaming.
I'm gonna. What is the lead today? Jackson's going to have to figure this out for the Little Piddles Monday weekend wrap-up presented by Angry Beaver.
Can't go wrong.
The choices are another Mizzou win, a Wainwright calling it a career, the Ryder Cup. Not a whole lot crazy happened yesterday in the NFL, right? Unless I'm missing something.
I would imagine a lot of people lost money last night. I could be wrong on that. And in general, yesterday was the day for my plays at Circa. I was on, I guess everybody was probably on I don't guess, I see the numbers. Everybody was on the Dolphins, pony. Everybody was on the Eagles, pony. Everybody was on the Bengals, pony. Everybody was on the Chiefs, pony. And pony means the public was not covering. Pony.
Hey.
Right. I saw people this morning were actually complaining that Mahomes slid.
He did the right thing.
It's the right thing. I guess you all had Kansas City. That's why you're bitching, but
sure. Or Mahomes in fantasy football. Doug, you have Mahomes in fantasy football.
Yeah. He hadn't done much.
Shouldn't have slid, should he, Doug?
I didn't.
100% right play.
Yeah, it was the right play.
Was that to stop run out the clock there at the end?
Yeah. Then it was the right play.
And he could have had a touchdown?
Yeah.
Well, they're up by 3, right?
I can't recall who it was. Oh, maybe it was Notre Dame. They scored a late touchdown, ran it in. I think Marcus Freeman, right after the game, said, in an ideal world, he slides at like the 5, so they just kick the field goal. Little different with college kickers than an NFL kicker. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I feel like the 25-yard field goal isn't as much of a lock in college as it is in the pros. But, it gave Duke the ball back, and then they lost their quarterback. Is that Riley Leonard? High ankle sprain.
So the Chiefs were up by 3, and he had a chance to run a touchdown, and he slid?
Yes, and then they were able to kneel on it as opposed to run it in and then give the Jets the ball back. And you don't want to give Zach Wilson the ball back.
No, but if you run it in, then you're up by 2 scores.
I understand, but what does it matter? You kneel on the ball, and it's over. You slide. I mean, is the goal to win the game or to win your fantasy?
Well, it's a double-edged sword there.
You can't have both.
I would...
That game kicked off at 3.5.
Right.
Most books, anyway. And so when he slid, I can't imagine. And I bet there were some people who lost money at noon and 3 o'clock, noon in particular. And then they're going, holy crap. I'm going to go double or nothing on Sunday night. Chiefs are only -3.5. They were only -3.5.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's the kind of game, if and when I ran a book in Columbia, Missouri, and I have to check with counsel as to is what the statute of limitations is on that. That was the kind of game where, especially since it was the Chiefs, everyone would have bet the Chiefs, and all hell would have broken loose for them.
Well, they were that much better. I don't think anybody saw Patrick Mahomes taking a knee near the goal line. So
Todd Gurley set that precedent.
Yeah, they were 10 points better than the Jets. So it was a reasonable bet.
Sure. But I would think a lot of people probably saw the Dolphins put up 70 last week and go, my God, they're getting points against the Bills.
Well, the overline in that game was a lock. That's the one I asked Lisa Ann on Friday. I said, are you surprised it's so low?
What was the final of that game? 48-20? Was that what it was? 48?
Yeah.
68? No, the total had to be like 53.
It actually went up to 57.
Ooh, wow. Good weather in Buffalo.
Well, okay then.
Yeah.
So what's the lead?
Bears lost
Even then the Doggies have clinched the West with LAFC losing last night.
I would say in this town, it's probably the end of the Cardinal season and Wainwright saying goodbye.
I doubt it.
I would say that's the most important thing. The Cardinal baseball
they've sucked all year. Who cares? It's over.
Well, the Cardinals are clearly the most
it's obviously
popular game in town.
He's arguing with you.
It's obviously Joe LaCava.
Get a life, dude.
No, it's got to be Mizzou, I would think.
What?
I wouldn't think so, no. Middle of the
I almost
season
fell asleep during that game. I really did. I'm like, God.
Yeah, I know.
Can't wait till the season starts next week.
You don't have to like the Cardinals to realize that they're the most important game in town. The most popular and the most important.
Well, we've been recapping this season all year.
Well, I don't think it's the season. I think it's Wainwright.
Yeah, okay.
Well, what would you say it is?
I would think Mizzou, but...
Really?
I agree with Iggy.
Oh, for crying in a bucket.
Only because I'm sitting here staring at the new old Vienna chips with...
Is this off? Is this on? Is this on the log?
No, it's just they when people drop stuff off, you just thank them.
That's the way you're thanking
You do,
them?
via email.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have his email.
Luther's?
No, Luther Burns' new hot Riplet chips are coming out. They're going to be at Schnips this week.
Did we all get some?
Yeah, I got one for each of you.
Oh, nice. Doug,
I
get some
didn't.
Riplets.
I did. My friend Kenny, who handles this stuff, just dropped them off and said, if you want to give him a mention, go ahead. If not, I want you guys to enjoy. So
Nice.
it was a nice
A bag of potato chips.
Okay, I guess that makes Mizzou the lead.
No, I just figured what you guys like to talk about. I figured you want Mizzou. I don't really care.
Jackson, what is the lead? How are you going to order the Lil Piddles Monday morning Angry Beaver weekend wrap-up? I assume it's the Blues and the Stars, if you want to play to the audience.
Right. I had to look in the mirror this morning for a long time and say you're going to have to bump the Blues and Stars recap.
That's a miss.
On 101 ESPN in St. Louis, after the season that's been and Wainwright's career, you have to lead with Waino, even if it's not something that you really are fired up to talk about because there's no real analysis there. It's just recognizing greatness. It certainly is the first thing you talk about, and then after that, you can kind of pick and choose what you're most passionate about, and that's the second story. But the lead after that weekend and after Wainwright's 20 years in St. Louis is Adam Wainwright.
They do a segment with him every Wednesday, right?
Who's they?
101 ESPN show.
The opening drive does, yeah.
Okay. Well, they're probably leading with that then.
Well, they will, but this is our show we're talking about.
Well, Jackson just said 101 ESPN.
Right. Well, he was if I'm ordering the Little Pills weekend wrap up presented by the Angry Beaver, then I'm going to lead with Adam Wainwright.
Here is they tweet out the opening drive's lineup. Doug, here it is.
Okay.
7:30, NFL 4 downs, week 4. 8 o'clock, should hashtag STL fans. Nice hashtag, Rockio. Be bothered by other movement in the NL. 8:15, Chris Kerber. 8:45, can Mizzou football move to 6-0? 9:30, STL City SC makes more history. There you go.
That's a nice little outline.
So 7 o'clock would have been Wainwright?
I would gather that's the play.
So Rockio missed what they're going to talk about to start the show?
I don't have the answer to that question. All I know is hashtag STL fans. And I like that. When you click on hashtag STL fans, what comes up?
Well, I'm going to hold another show.
Hopefully Ella Reese.
I'm going to hold another station accountable.
Maybe our lead is the fact that we didn't get started till like 7:10.
And that a guy who used to perform at wrestling at the Chase is pissed?
Right. He can't still be alive.
Again, I'm enjoying the show.
Well, me too, base burglar.
Without Mahomes, the Chiefs might win 3 games. He's more valuable to them than Brady was to the Patriots. It's Bobo Brazil. That's kind of a take.
Yeah. Chalk it
I don't
up.
know about that. The Patriots have been just another team, and Belichick just another coach as soon as Brady left.
Okay, you know Town's in the YouTube chat. Sup, Nick? What it do?
Oh,
you like that?
What
I kind of
kind
like
of
that.
talk is that?
I got a little gangster Pete in me.
What it do?
That means you're going to really be defeated within the next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mentally stronger than him.
Wow, Gangster Pete.
Bobo Brazil died in 98.
Yeah, I thought it's been a while.
So it's his hologram that's in our YouTube chat. You can watch on YouTube. You can see a new shirt that I'm wearing from the TMA STL shop collection. And we have a shirt for this week's Missouri LSU game, Doug. And it's Brian Kelly grinding on recruits.
Oh, no.
And I believe it's something along the lines of Missouri football. We don't dance with our recruits. Something along those lines. And if you want to wear that to the blackout on Saturday, you got to get it and order it at tmastlshop.com. It's up. Everything is 10% off when you check out. It is at tmastlshop.com along with this, along with what Jackson is wearing. That is available in a hoodie. The Brian Kelly shirt only available in T-shirts. Get it now and wear it to Columbia on Saturday, 11 a.m. kickoff. All right, so Doug, Adam Wainwright, he pinch hit. He struck out.
Yes, he did.
Standing ovation. Yadier Molina was there. Albert Pujols was there. And they had a little pregame ceremony for him. Do you have John Mozeliak in there?
So that audio I could not find anywhere.
Oh, no.
I looked.
That's
I
our
looked
lead.
and looked and looked, and I could. Well, I mean, like the Cardinals aren't going to tweet out the president of baseball operations being booed.
He was booed.
Oh, was he booed?
Yeah, like,
he was booed.
I don't know. Like everyone tweeted out the quote. He's like, I thought they were saying Newt Bar, but that audio, I at least couldn't find it.
It would have been great if the Cardinals tweeted
Right,
it out.
like Valley Sports Midwest. Like here's President of Baseball Operations John Mozeliak getting booed.
Getting booed by hashtag STO fans.
How much did he get booed? Really loud?
I don't
It
know.
was noticeable enough for him to say, I thought they were saying Newt.
Oh.
Right. So I wish I could have found it.
Was that on? Was it broadcast? Like
Yes. Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody put it on the fan page and just videotaped their TV screen and put it up there. That's usually what happens.
It's on them. It's on our listeners. This one's on you.
Yeah. I was driving all afternoon yesterday, so I wasn't.
Yeah.
Chi-Town stand up.
Next to
You
my
would've thought-
television set. Yeah.
I would have thought somebody would have made a bigger deal out of it.
Best fans in baseball.
This is the only show where the quote talent, Doug, was that a shot?
I think it was.
Admonishes the audience for listening to the show, and this same talent will then go over the outline for a competing show that runs at the same time as theirs. That's from Nathan from the East Side of Home. This competition between us and 101 is heated.
It really is. Radio War.
So much so, I do a show there. Tim, did you see there was a second one? Doug, what does that mean? It's from the 217.
A second booing? That's what we're talking about? A second one. Tim, there's a second one.
I don't know what to make of that.
A second outline? Is that from Bobo Brazil again?
That YouTube chat is hot today.
Oh.
What up, KG? Morning, Jake.
No.
Was there a second show? A second shirt, maybe?
I
We'll just ignore that because
And we weren't when did we admonish the audience for listening to the show?
I sure don't remember it.
I honestly, I'm asking. Maybe I
think he's referring to us mentioning that people were bitchy that we weren't on at 7:10 and we're just reading text. That's all we're doing. So, not admonishing anybody. We're just reading text you send in.
We sure don't like to be admonished.
Not bad at the game, strong to quite strong out on Broadway the night before. Well, this is KG No Town texting with Who's Your Daddy?
Okay.
Threw me off. How much ass did Jackson get this weekend? Birthday hawk.
None.
Well, I guess that's what people want to hear about. They want to hear about your trips.
You wouldn't tell us if you did, would you?
I don't think he would. And I think I got to tell you something. I don't like it, but I respect it. Does that make sense? Like if I were in his spot, I'd do the exact same thing. For the show's sake, I'd like to hear about it.
Right.
For Jackson's life, he's doing the right thing.
We want some juicy details.
He is doing the right thing. I boast about mine, and it's come back to bite me in the ass. But
Yeah, I wasn't in downtown Chicago, so it wasn't like a I wasn't out at
Hoffman Estates?
Tau. I was out, I was
Where were you?
in Geneva, Illinois, the western suburb,
Oh.
playing in a golf tournament for my buddy's family. So I wouldn't necessarily call it the most glamorous of weekends, but it was really fun. Nothing really special, nothing of note. So
What'd you do after golf?
hung out, went out, had some beverages.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, we had a great time, but there was nothing.
Small little city or a nice suburb or?
It's just a suburban Chicago town.
Okay, we're not going to get much information out of this fellow.
I said there's not much to tell.
Doug, the lead is the dogs. Bark, bark. That's from Lady Gaga's Fupa.
Oh, okay.
I would truly, if you ask St. Louis sports fans, but then that's not really our audience. Like what the lead is, like if we're doing the 101 thing right now, what the most people care about. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. It's tough. That's why I thought this was the greatest Sadie Hawkins of all time.
Boy, it could be.
Yeah, the Wayno thing there's not much analysis to have there. Like there's topics you want to talk about that require more analysis. Missouri, the NFL, the Ryder Cup, that's all analysis-based stuff. Whereas Wayno, you're just kind of just being like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And thank you to Wayno for an incredible career. So I think it's still the lead. I just don't think it's the most engaging.
He seemed to get a nice dog.
Analytical topic. Yeah, that was nice.
They said it was a truffle finder. That's how they described it. A dog that can find truffles.
I feel like Plowsy would have a take about that.
Yeah.
Plowhawk is out this week vacationing, and he will be back next Monday. Is that correct?
I think so. I think he's just a week out.
I think he'll be back Friday for the 3 o'clock.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
3 o'clock tea time.
No, hit and giggle.
Yeah.
Me and my dad and my son playing as a threesome. Dangerous threesome.
I don't know.
What?
Well, I'm sure it will be, Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Playing with my brother and my dad.
Dangerous threesome.
Dangerous threesome.
I would not.
Dangerous pairing.
I would not describe us as that. It'd be a great time, though. Family affair.
Yeah, you can sign up, tmastl.com, for the Michelob Ultra Hit and Giggle this Friday at Family Golf and Learning Center. It is the Hit and Giggle brought to you by Michelob Ultra, along with our 7 o'clock hour sponsor, Munganess St. Louis Acura and Alton Toyota. Online at tmastl.com. That's where you can register. It's $55 per person. That includes your food and your beer and your golf at Family Golf and Learning Center. TMA Hit and Giggle, brought to you by Michelob Ultra, benefiting the Megan Meyer Foundation this Friday at Family Golf and Learning Center. Your $55 ticket will include 9 holes, beer from Michelob Ultra, and lunch or dinner, depending on your tea time. Michelob Ultra, sponsor of our studios, 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbohydrates. If you are looking for an insurance agent, or even if you're not, you should work with James Carlton. He's online at carltoninsurance.net. Usually with us on Mondays, will not be able to join us today in studio. He is online at carltoninsurance.net, has 325 5-star reviews on Google. James Carlton is my insurance agent. I am so happy I made the switch, and I would love for you to make the switch as well, because then you will experience the incredible customer service that we experience as well. 314-961-4800, or go online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. Jackson, tell the people about Circa.
Sure. Well, the Circa Sportsbook app, Circa, of course, is the world's largest sportsbook in Las Vegas. It has come to Illinois. The Circa Sports app is sports betting the way it should be. Big app bets, high betting limits, tight money line splits, and the best customer service. And the Circa Sports app is in Illinois. It is official.
It's up, Doug.
Circa Sportsbook is in Illinois. Visit circasports.com for more details. You can hop on, sign up for the Circa Sports app, which is now available in Illinois. Get ready to start betting like a pro. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Get on board, Missouri. Come on. Pass a law. All these other states are having all these nice casinos and sports books opening, and we sit here like a country bumpkin.
Oh.
Takes.
Well, we are kind of country bumpkins.
Sad.
No flyover country.
Doug, in the Circa Millions this week, he had the Bills -3, the Commanders +8, the Titans +2, and the Raiders, I lost by 1.5. And I got the Giants tonight. So, and
What's that spread?
I got it at a pick. It is Giants -1. against the Seahawks.
I went to bed last night after the Jets had tied it, and I said, there's no way. I'll wake up tomorrow morning. There's no way Kansas City can win this game. Mahomes just looked awful, and the Jets were hot. Sure enough, I got up this morning, and 23-20.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you give up 2 3rd and 20s, that's not going to help you.
That's a problem.
Maybe that's our lead, the Jets. I'm sure it is on the Greenberg show.
Yeah. I wonder what Francesa's thoughts are on Zach Wilson, because he's kind of gone back and forth.
Let's see. Chiefs were -2 to open. Jets +2. Just a strange line.
Yeah, it was.
And then when it kicked off, it got to 7.5 if you wanted your best Chiefs line, or 8.5 if you wanted your best Jets line. Either way, he scores a touchdown and they cover. So it did not kick off at 3.5. I'd like to apologize. Whatever the lead is, it will come back to whatever Iggy wants to talk about. That's from Chairman Steve in Wildwood.
Well,
It'll come back to it eventually, so it won't be the lead.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of dumb.
Well, we're 30 minutes into this. I guess we can move on to the second story. Kicked around the Wainwright story.
Yeah, we even got the one yet?
Exhausted that.
I don't even think we got one.
I talked
got
briefly
the one
about
yet.
the dog he got.
Who?
Truffle Finder.
Yeah. Cardinals wound up 71 and 91.
Heck of a year.
Tied with Washington for the second worst record in the National League. I guess Jordan Walker led him in hitting.
Hell of a lineup yesterday. It's the last day of the season. There was a guy playing I never heard of.
With a bunch of them.
Well, they've
The hot
played-
take for the morning. Match that, 101.
Some of those guys have played before. But there was one guy, I can't even remember his name. Who is this?
Coles?
No.
Yeah, they brought a couple guys up right at the end. Let him be in the major leagues for a day or two.
Adam Wainwright. Here's what he had to say yesterday, Doug.
Okay, hit the lever.
I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely, completely drained in a good way. You know, it's just beyond anything I could have ever expected. You know, I mean, watching Yachty and Albert send off last year, I thought, man, they are so deserving of that. And I was so proud that they got to share that together. I would have never thought in a million years that I would get anything like that. I just taken aback, very honored, very, I feel just as blessed as I've ever felt in my whole life. So, yeah, I kept looking at Steven and I go, are you sick of me yet, man? I'm kind of sick of me right now. Like, but you know what? I'll remember these 3 days for the rest of my life.
You add him a lot of.
Doug, you have a problem with the editing?
No.
Who's Steven?
Now, like
that guy.
Thick media laugh.
Thick media laugh. I
Did you say Steven's getting tired of me?
I'm not sure who's Steven.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Maybe Steven Matz.
Well, that's the guy I'd pick out of the entire team to say he's tired of me.
I don't know. I don't know
I
that's
don't
what
know.
Steven would be.
Maybe he's one of the guys behind the scenes putting all this stuff together.
Wasn't Steven one of the guys producer Joe lived with or something?
I thought that was Knuckles.
Yeah,
Klaus. Yeah, Klaus.
Brad and Josh, Steven?
Nigel was in there somewhere.
Hello, Vivian.
Vivian was a...
That'd have been my follow-up. Who's Steven?
Well, it would have been nice if they had been able to do this with a team now heading to the playoffs. But since it was such a horrendous year, at least it ended on something of a happy note, at least something to talk about the final weekend
At
of
least
the year.
get some fans in the building towards that last weekend.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I couldn't imagine what the attendance would have looked like on a beautiful weekend when there's so much else going on.
What do the Cardinals give him?
The dog did that, but was there any mention of a dog?
They did give him a dog.
Dog?
You said it.
I thought you were
I've already said it. They gave him a dog that hunts truffles.
I heard it. I thought you were talking about the soccer team.
No.
We were talking about, what are we going
It's
to
been
talk about?
discussed twice.
I thought you said dogs.
He had said that he wasn't going to get a dog until he retired as a player. And he had all of his kids there, his beautiful children all there. And they presented him, now that you're retired, here's a dog. And a cute little puppy, and they all were very happy.
I didn't hear all that.
They gave him, they gave him a guitar, a nice Gibson guitar, painted with Cardinal memorabilia and sayings from his children written on the back of it. His teammates gave him a riding lawnmower, he said afterwards, after the game. A 2000 series. I guess that means something. What else did he get?
It's not the size of the dog in the fight.
It's the size of the dog. It's the size of the dog in the fight.
Well, that's exactly right.
That sounds like some nice presents.
They were some wonderful gifts, yeah.
Normally they give you crap.
They don't give you crap normally. They give you fabulous items. If you're a star like that.
The Padres cut him a check for $5K.
He needed that. Lord knows.
Brewers
He
did
needed
too.
that.
Brewers, my apologies.
For his foundation, maybe? Or-
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Well, you can.
Well, that's a thought that
You
counts.
giving a guy who made like $170 million in his career, here's another $5,000.
Ali Marmol had this to say regarding the campaign, quote, "I want a clubhouse full of guys that has one thing on their minds, and it's not themselves. It's winning a championship. So you start by weeding those out." Hello again, everybody.
Well, who does that include? Can we name names?
Throwing people under the bus the last game of the season, too?
Well, he didn't name any names.
No, but there's somebody in there he's talking about.
Well, I agree. Doug, you want to go through the roster, or what are we talking about out there? Was it a callback to the way we started the season with Tyler O'Neill? I would imagine he's live.
Yeah.
Or they won their last game.
Can't imagine it's the first baseman. Can't imagine it's the third baseman.
It's harder to pinpoint in baseball because it really is in so many ways an individual sport. You're up there batting by yourself.
Maybe it's a Steven guy.
It could be Steven.
Maybe it's Michaelis.
It'd be a little easier in basketball if you got a guy who won't pass.
Right,
He shoots
right.
all the time.
Right.
Same thing in hockey. You can tell if a guy's not a team player. Baseball, what's he supposed to do? You play your position, you try to get a hit when you're at the plate. That's about it.
Field the ball and put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Well, according to him in May, this win yesterday will go a long way to leading to next year. Because when you lose a game in the middle of the year, well, remember when he said they lost the game? He said this is going to bode well toward the end of the season.
September.
We'll learn from this. So, win. You can go in the off season and build on this victory yesterday.
Yeah, 1-0 mentality.
This is one
Just
of
go
the
out
most
and get Gabe
bizarre
Kapler
seasons.
and get rid of this guy.
One of the most bizarre seasons they've had in my memory.
Well, you think there'll be any terminations today? This is usually the day where managers get fired.
No.
Buck Showalter gone in New York. Gabe Kapler gone before the final weekend in San Francisco. I don't know if that was because they were trying to orchestrate the Crawford exit and make that the focal point. I don't know what that was about. I would imagine within 24 hours there will be a change in some capacity. I don't know whether it'll be with Melvin or somebody else with the Padres. I would imagine there will be one in the Bronx. They've already done the one in Boston. But they like what they saw here.
Yeah. Those other teams didn't have the success that the Cardinals had. They weren't as happy with the direction of the club as they are here.
It's a shame all these good managers are available and got a vote of confidence for this guy.
It's pretty darn hard to believe how you could have done any worse. Don't you think one of us might have been able to skipper the team to a 71-win season?
Yes.
That's possible, I think. Just put the best lineup out there and sit on your hands.
Probably better, because I think most of us in here don't usually take pitchers out in the sixth inning throwing 78 pitches.
Yeah.
And bring in a bullpen that has blown 95 saves this year.
Yeah. Again, the only explanation is he wasn't the one calling the shots. Mazalek's calling the shots. Somebody in the press box tells him what to do.
Maybe Ali was talking about a morning HD2 host who constantly interrupts the show to talk about himself. That's from the Angel of the Morning After.
Well, that makes no sense, because I'm not on the team, so...
The Cardinals have announced that Mo and Marmol are both being extended with lifelong contracts. That's from Danny Tanner.
Probably. That's probably more likely. It's hard to believe. It'd be one thing if this was a former great player. You know, if they had made Albert Pujols a manager and you stumbled through a 71 and 91 season, you say, well, we can't get rid of him yet. It's another for a guy who came here with no managerial experience and never played. I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, I guess I do get it, but I hate to keep repeating myself. He must not be the one calling the shots.
The manager doesn't make the lineup in St. Louis, Doug. That's from Danny Tanner.
Probably not. Probably not. Or make the pitching changes. Or have much to do with personnel. I guess not. Because he would have been easy to blame if he was the one calling all the shots.
Outside of Tyler O'Neill, I wonder who he's talking about. Because to say we got to get rid of those.
The only thing that I could think of is Flaherty, but he's been traded.
Well, you got to get rid of those. You start by weeding those out. So it's not, Flaherty or anybody else that went away at the deadline.
I don't know.
That was per Jeff Jones, who writes for the Belleville News Democrat. That was the answer to Derek Gould asking what the first step is in getting ready to compete in 24. That is a hell of an indictment on whoever he was talking about, which he did not elaborate on.
Perhaps Jose Fermin?
You think what about Palacios?
Irving Lopez? I mean,
Look at the people on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Drew Rahm set him off over 2 months.
I can't imagine.
I mean, what a... You had a terrible rotation. Like if Tyler O'Neill wasn't, I don't know. It's such an odd.
It's hard to imagine there's some player on the team going into his office saying, "I have to bat third."
Right.
What are you doing? Hit me seventh.
When the team had a team ERA in June of 6+, I was thinking these guys are just too selfish. That's the problem. They're thinking about themselves too much.
I guess there could be some starting pitchers saying, "Let me go longer. Don't take me out so early. I still got it."
Yeah, but most of them are gone.
Larry Thornton's theory is Ryan Helsley. He says he'll only pitch when he's full energy and won't go back to back. I thought that was more about his injury.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm off.
That's more like a team thing, telling him when he's going to pitch.
When he's healthy, he's awfully good.
Maybe Gallegos, is he pitching well?
They shut him down, I think. They must have 15 people they shut down before the end of the year. Well, 10 anyway.
Well, they haven't played a regular roster in a long time, so I don't know who it would be. Unless
right now,
don't give us a Slurpee because they were trying hard.
Oh, it just seems like such a mess right now. It's hard to imagine you could make even 2 or 3 moves to turn it around. Maybe you can. I don't know.
This will say, because again, I'm auditioning for Get Up and First Take. Mm-hmm. But I have never been more interested in a Cardinal offseason than what we're about to see, and then how it transpires in 2024. Because I just look at it and I go, I just don't see how they are back to a championship level contender, and I don't really know when. I just don't know how they can pull it all off.
I mean, nobody in baseball has ever gone on the offseason and signed a 1, 2, and 3. Or traded for a 1, 2, and 3. That's what they needed. They did a 1, 2, and 3. I mean,
and that's operating on the premise that Michaelis, who threw 200 innings, got to 200 innings back-to-back years, and Steven Matz. I mean, we're talking about Steven Matz now.
Yeah, those are your two.
And Doug Zet's Steven. Maybe that was Steven.
Yeah, those are 4 and 5s, probably.
Yes, I don't know how you go out and trade and sign a 1, 2, and a 3 in the offseason.
Well, you sign one of those, and then you try to trade for the 2 others, I think.
But is there a 1, 2, and 3 they can afford?
Hey, Tim, who's the little gal on your shoulder on YouTube?
There's a Learn sticker behind you, it seems.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
That's
we
Learn?
don't have the cutout anymore, so I just put a sticker up there.
You did that.
Yeah.
I noticed that this morning.
How have we known that that's Learn?
It could be King Scott.
Oh, God. So you put that there? I figured she put that there.
No, I put it there Friday.
Huh. Why didn't you put it over your own shoulder?
I don't know what you can see over my shoulder. I just put it where it was in the middle of the thing. Well, we don't have the cutout anymore, so I just threw that up
Why
there.
do we need the cutout or that?
Well, Doug, that's what I call a fair question.
The cutout was part of the show.
What the hell is wrong with this guy, Ilsida?
Yeah, maybe you'll get it after 7 years.
Was that her there?
No.
Hey, Iggy, last season the Mets signed Scherzer, Verlander, and Quintana. Thanks. That's MJ from the wealthy part of North City.
Yeah, you compare this team to the Mets, right?
MJ, you can
With the
call
payroll, you idiot.
636-9004
1, 2,
TMA.
and 3.
I'm just getting tired of the things that make no sense. If you think that we have the same payroll as the Mets, go look at it.
Calling the nation all day.
Well, it didn't work out for them either, did it? Even if you go out and get 2 first ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
You see this
Still
statistic,
doesn't
Doug?
work out.
First time the Cardinals will play a game without Adam Wainwright, Albert Pujols, or Yadier Molina on the roster since October, I believe it was 13th, 15th, 16th, whatever, of 2000.
2000, yeah.
How do you do?
Pujols came up.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are 3
That's a quarter of a century, damn near.
outstanding players, yeah.
That's why this offseason is just so...
Well...
What is one move if you had to bet a material amount of money that you feel confident they will make? Got to give me a name. Can't say I got a pitch.
A name that's out of here?
Out or in?
Well, I wouldn't have any idea who's going to come in. Who will not be here next year? I guess O'Neill.
Yeah. He was the problem this year.
Yeah.
I say they sign Snell.
Boy, that is going to cost them a crap load of money, especially with the Yankees and Red Sox in the spot they're in. Aaron Judge was very critical yesterday about the Yankees having had a new plan because what they're doing now is not working. And so you've got people in New York, you got Boston. I would imagine San Diego will try, but I don't know if they can. And who else would be in the mix? I mean, there's just, I don't know. Maybe
I'm not saying they'll get
wall.
him. That's who I think they'll go out. They'll open the pocketbook for Snell because they know they need a number one. They know they need to do something.
Josh Bob Bill says it's Sonny Gray. He's betting his house.
I don't know. I don't think you can bet your house on people coming this way because all the other teams are after the good ones too.
Got to sign Ohtani. He'll take the hometown discount. That's Wolf Boy.
He's not from here, and he's not going to pitch next year. So you'd be getting a darn good left-handed hitter, but that doesn't solve your pitching problems.
Iggy just said no one in the history of baseball signed a 1, 2, and 3 in the offseason. The texter then pointed out he was wrong again. It's from the 573.
And you consider Quintana their third?
Probably.
Consider he didn't even pitch half the season.
At the start of the year, they might have thought he was going to be number 3.
I'd have to look at their roster to see what their starting rotation was, but I don't think they signed him as a 3.
I don't really understand your question.
The numbers don't mean anything. I'm a 1, I'm a 2. If everybody's healthy, they all pitch about the same.
Guys, you could have put the Learn sticker over the Ryan Kelly Home Loan Expert spot on the wall since Old Vienna is apparently the new sponsor of the show. That's a birthday. This is TMA presented by Old Vienna.
Is that the little sausages?
No,
it's
Red Hot
potato
Ripley's,
chips.
baby.
Vienna sausage?
Well, Schnucks is a sponsor of one of the stations.
Of a different station than this one.
We're all one big station here, Hubbard. It was just a friend of mine. He dropped him off and said, Luther Burden has a new flavor out, ranch.
Now, would that be payola?
No, I'm just thanking the guy. People bring stuff in all the time, and we thank them for it. They bring food in.
Right.
If they're sponsors.
No, how many times have we mentioned Grassi's? They bring food in.
When you say we.
Wow.
It's one of my father, of course, bankrolls this whole show. Fabulously wealthy. He was a general salesman. He said it was kind of a understood thing that if somebody brought food into the house on KFNS back in the day, that it would automatically lead to a live read. We're just thanking him. Well, then the guy who dropped off food cost him probably, $10 to $20. He just got himself, something that had 20 times the value. It's a nice little strategy.
Yeah. It's a win-win for everybody.
Minus the actual people paying everybody's paycheck.
Well, yeah.
Guys, I talked to Jaime Garcia yesterday. He's coming back with Woody Williams next year to solidify the rotation. That's from Fuelsy.
Well, I suppose the off-speed stuff might fool somebody for a while. They'd probably wise up to it and say, "Oh, that's all he's got. He's doing 63."
MJ from the wealthy part of North City is not going to get a chance to call in, Iggy, to argue with you. He says, exactly, Iggy, they spent $100 million on their 3 top pitchers, and it didn't work out very well. He was the 3rd highest paid pitcher behind Scherzer and Verlander. Again, I enjoy the show. Derp.
Oh!
That's from MJ from the wealthy part of North City.
Okay.
Well, again, I'd have to look at the Mets starting rotation going into the offseason. I don't believe they signed him as a 3. And they signed all 3 of those guys last year. I thought that Scherzer and Verlander had been on the team the year prior.
No, this was their first year there. For outrageous money. $40 million a year.
Yeah, they made a lot of money.
Well, the owner is the richest owner in baseball, I believe, Stephen Cohen. So he's got he's got that kind of cash to throw around. I don't know if they have that here.
Here's what just happened on your show. Iggy, I say they will sign Snell. Tim goes into how it's going to be really difficult. Iggy, well, I'm not saying they will sign Snell. It's from Timmy the Tickler. Doug, your favorite texter.
No, he's a weasel.
Well, they're going to try and sign Snell. I mean, it's never a guarantee.
No.
Yeah, we're going to sign Snell in the offseason. Everybody else back away because we're signing him. No. I mean, you have to say yes, and you have to get other teams. You have to outbid him and him to say yes. But so All right, I misspoke. They'll go after Snow. Will they get him or not? I don't know, but that's who they're going to go after.
Is somebody who just had a fantastic year living in San Diego going to come to St. Louis for join the last place team?
Whoa. You
I don't know
best
why-
not step into balloon party.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would come here, to be honest with you.
Oh, gosh.
Go about the game.
We don't know that unless we ask, Jack. We don't know.
Well, then you don't understand pitching, and that's okay.
Say that again?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry?
Oh, no one understands pitching. That's been the problem. Well, it was one thing to come to St. Louis when you had a team that was a contender every year. It's another if you've got a last-place team.
It's your opinion.
There's not a whole lot
Right.
to sell
You
right
assume
now.
this is a last-place team.
There's not a whole lot to sell at the moment, I don't think.
You ever been to the zoo?
I have. It's free. Yeah, I stand back.
Guys, can KG be your full-time drops guy? What a wonderful performance on the board this morning. That's from Ollie, the pulled pork salesman.
I'm Jackson.
Jackson's doing the drops.
And in fairness, KG Noton responded to Ollie, the pulled pork salesman, who also goes by Get Busy Fitness. That's Jackie, baby. That's Jackie.
Oh. That's Jackie, baby. You ever go by Jackie?
Some people like to mess with my name. I just prefer.
And how do you like it? Do the ladies call you Jackie?
I prefer my mom and dad named me Jackson. It's kind of unique, you know. Most people go Jack. I'm Jackson, so I kind of prefer to go by Jackson. I don't like when people call me Jax, Jax.
Why not? Yeah. Jax?
Yeah. It's not my name. I'm not Jax.
Huh.
I'm not Jacksonville.
No.
I'm me, baby.
But there's a lot of people who have their names shortened.
Sure.
Like Richard becomes Rich.
Yeah.
Timothy becomes
Dick.
Tim.
How does John become Jack?
I don't know.
And
What is that about?
I don't know.
Because they would say like Jack Kennedy, but his name was John.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Jack
Why did the
Buck's named
future
John.
bowling Hall of Famer put his acceptance speech on Facebook, then took it down? It was written gold. That's from Mr. Bojangles. Iggy, you posted your acceptance speech?
Just the first couple of lines.
Well, that was this weekend, wasn't it?
No, it's next weekend.
Oh.
I was just working on it this weekend, and I said, you guys get a sneak peek. They had a chance to read it, then I took it down.
And
You had a chance to...
it's a big loss for anyone who didn't happen to see it, I guess.
No, you had people started asking me, telling me to change things. I said, I don't need any critiquing of it. So,
Oh, what was the gist of it?
and actually, your number 2 pitcher for the Mets was David Peterson.
What?
Cody Sanga was 4th. Carlos Carrasco was
You asked one question and you got a different answer.
Well, I was just going through it. The Mets rotation before Quintana, it was Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander was 3, David Peterson was 2nd. So that was your 1, 2, 3. So Quintana wasn't a 3. So
I don't know about
you can
that.
stop with that talk.
I simply wanted to know what the gist of this Bowling Hall of Fame speech.
I started like I was, because I'm going to be the last one speaking. There's 8 inductees go in. Normally it's 4. The year I go in, they put 8 in. And you have all these other awards like Bowler of the Year, Female Bowler of the Year, Senior of the Year. And I go last because I begin with an S, Strode. So I just started by saying, have we taken breakfast orders yet? Meaning it's way too late for this. And then I said, this is the first time in my life I wish my last name was Aaron. Which means it would start with an AA.
2 fabulous lines to get it going.
Pete, what's that, Island? What's up, Pete?
And then somebody said, well, you should probably say Anderson because Aaron could be
E-R-I-N.
different ways. And I didn't put that much thought into it. I just put it up there and everybody had a chance to read it. And then if you didn't read it by yesterday, it's gone.
Yeah, too bad.
I don't want to give too much away.
Iggy did it as a total humble brag, not knowing that nobody cares. That's from General Horseplay.
Humble brag.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm going into this Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
I mean, people know I'm going into it. It's nothing new.
Well, some do. The people that listen to this show.
Well, if you're on my Facebook page, you know, because I posted it when it was announced I was going in.
You've bragged before.
Yeah. Well, it's just, exciting news. I mean, there aren't many people that are in 2 Hall of Fames.
No. And have been able to remain remarkably humble through it all.
So it wasn't a humble brag. It was just, hey, this is what I'm doing Saturday. Here's a little sneak peek of what I'm.
MJ from the wealthy part of North City's losing his mind. Jesus Christ! Quintana was going to be number 3, but after signing him, they discovered an underlying injury, and he started the season on the IL. That's MJ, and he's from the wealthy part of North City.
No, he wasn't going to be the 3. Peterson was the 3.
Oh, awesome.
Do some research.
Make, period, it, period, stop, period. Afton Altar Boy.
Well, maybe if you had quit throwing the 1, 2, 3 out there all the time, I'll stop responding to it. I already said he wasn't a 3. You said he was, so leave it at that.
How do we know? There's no way to know exactly
Well,
who's
that's
a
right.
3,
You don't know,
who's
so
a
just
2,
quit
who's a
posting.
4.
You don't know. We're signing Quintana as our 3. No, you signed him. You didn't know he was going to be a 3. They had David Peterson.
But their
penciled
point
as a
was
3.
you said no one had ever done
Well,
it.
and he wasn't. He wasn't signed as a 3. He signed as a 4.
But the
1, 2, 3, 4,
Maybe even 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
That's
12.
how many pitchers they had. I mean, he may have been below Carrasco.
I love when you schmucks spend the first 10 minutes of the show on Monday choosing a topic when we all know Ken is about to happen no matter what. And since it's Monday, he's about to happen long time. That's from Arbor Day. The theory is you don't talk to anybody for about 72 hours, and so you're kind of loaded for bear, and the rest of us just sit back.
I think I said that one week. I said, I get no human interaction throughout the week.
None? Not
When I
even
come
these
in here-
neighbors?
No, I don't talk to them.
You don't go out at all on the weekends?
Not really.
Did you do anything this weekend?
What did I do this weekend? Clean the house, little gobble bowl stuff, watched a lot of football, came up here, had a cup of coffee.
Well, you came up here and had a cup of coffee?
Yeah, I tried to relax on Saturday morning when I woke up and just hotbed of activity.
It seems like a hassle to get in the car and drive here just to
I
get the
live
cup of coffee.
3 minutes away.
I know, but still. it's
Then
getting
I sit
far.
on the patio with the fountain on and, just relax, do a little work, wrote a speech, talked to Frank a little bit from El Balago.
Huh.
Nice.
You had yourself quite a little time.
Yeah, so it's relaxing to me.
All right.
Munganast is relaxing to me, Doug, that service area. St. Louis
yeah.
Acura, Alton Toyota. What do you love about Munganast?
The relaxing.
Yeah.
You know that you're in the right place. You know that they'll take care of your car, and they got a fabulous little waiting room right there.
Yeah, they
You
do.
Get some snacks while you wait.
Jamie
Great-
Burkhardt, Clayton
great
Patterson,
service.
Peter Munganast, they're going to take great care of you, aren't they?
Yeah, they always have, and they always will. And not just us, anybody.
Yeah.
A lot of people, once you go the first time, you go, oh, I found my car, guys. This is where I'm going.
My neighbor's going there today.
Those are him.
Yeah, he reached
Thought
out.
you were sideways with the neighbors. Different neighbors.
No, I have 2 good neighbors.
2 good neighbors.
Yeah, the one upstairs, I don't even know how he got my number. He texted me. I'm not going to be a dick and say, how'd you get my number? He's a nice guy. But he said, I need some body work done. I said, let me ask Clayton, because if they don't do it, they know where they can send you. So Clayton just said, yeah, have him call me. I'll take care of him. So he's going to go see him today. How about that? Clayton just said, here's my
Yeah,
cell.
how about that?
Here's my cell.
I agree with you. How
Give me a
about
call.
that? 314-252-0029 if you want to text. Clayton is going to get back to you right away, or call 314-252-0029 or go online at stlouisacura.com, roltontoyota.com. It is Munganast, the sponsor of our 7 o'clock hour here on TMA. Place your title sponsorship right here. Design Air Heating and Cooling is online at designairservice.com. Design Air is the official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast, a podcast that really is excited about getting emails from women now.
Yeah, occasionally. At least it's guys dressed up as women. Take on a female name.
So what? They still email us. QFT at McKernan at InsideSTL.com. Iggy, the weather looks wonderful. Now, this is the time to get your furnace tuned up. I just did it last week. Design Air was over. It's wonderful. Go online at DesignAirService.com to schedule your furnace tune-up now, so when the weather does get cold, you're taken care of. But the forecast is glorious for the hit and giggle.
As I said it would be, and then somebody...
High of 71, sunny, sweet mother of mercy.
I think Doug last week said, I got the app saying it's 62. I said, well, you may have to check that app again.
I got highs in the 80s next week, according to that. That's I mean, it's Apple.
Really?
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I got high 70s, so, yeah, we'll be through 10 days of October with perfect weather, so I hope that isn't a harbinger of things to come.
What do you mean?
Well, we're having a great October, then with December and January, it's going to be 0. But maybe it'll be another mild winter.
I think the harbinger would be a warm November and December.
Right. By definition.
Not just the exact opposite.
The opposite of harbinger, whatever that would be. Unharbinger?
Right.
I don't know that that's a word at all. No.
Well, let's just hope we have a nice winter, because it's coming. Winter is coming, as Ned Stark once said.
Oh, you think it's going to be rough?
No, I hope not. You don't know in this city. Whatever the almanac says, just go the opposite. Because last year the Farmer's Almanac, be a brutal winter, well below freezing temperatures all winter. Well, you were off on that one, Farmer.
Oh.
Wow.
Apple goes as far as a week from this Wednesday, so that's what 10 days or so.
Yeah, how about
Still
that?
80 degrees.
I'm telling you, shave strokes.
Look, in the middle of October, 80 degrees.
I love it.
Yeah.
I thought of this the other day.
But the one thing bad is it's a harbinger of a really rough winter.
Trick or treat, bitches.
It's an unharbinger.
Now, I'm not talking San Diego weather, but if you had a choice, every second of every day for 12 months out of the year would be 60 degrees. Would you take that compared to having to have winter?
I don't understand the question, sir.
All right. Well, in the summer you have 100 degrees sometimes.
Right.
The spring is usually nice, 75, 80. Winters can be anywhere from 50 to 0. You don't know. Would you change all of that and say, okay, you can have every day, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 60 degrees? Would you take it?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes.
That's kind of like Northern California weather. It's a little San Francisco-ish.
Well, San Francisco can get kind of brutal in the winter.
I don't think
it's
so.
warmer in the winter.
Yeah, it's actually cold.
Yeah.
The longest, what is the Mark Twain thing? The longest winter I ever spent was July in San Francisco, something like that.
San Francisco, yeah.
I'm
But
just
every day
thinking if
60.
there was one area that's about what you get, I think Northern
Yeah.
California might be it.
I was there in December once. It was like 55 to 60 degrees every day.
Never warmer, never hotter, not 65, not 68, not
Yeah.
60
Sign
on
me
the
up.
button for
Yeah.
24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Sure, I'd take that.
Would you?
Second. Yeah.
Why are we still doing this wiggy weather bit thing? I legitimately do not understand. It finally got sponsored after 5 years of nonsense, and then they dropped it after 72 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't quick.
When they realized what it was. Let it die!
Oh, come on.
Well, at least they gave it time.
Nice run.
We answered your own question. We did it for 5 years before there was a sponsor, so why are we still doing it? It has nothing to do with a
We're
sponsor.
still trying to find another one.
And Tim just asked me.
Really important. And,
There's a chance NASA will sponsor
And
us.
when you're as right as often as I am, why wouldn't you ask?
I don't know. Yeah, of course I'd take 60 degrees year round.
All right,
Yeah.
never warmer. Middle of summer, you're out there playing golf. It's 60 degrees.
Okay.
Sounds lovely.
Might
Yeah.
get a little wind, be a little chilly.
Well, now you're changing
The parameters have
yeah.
changed.
60 degrees sounds very pleasant to me. I would like a little, if you said 70, I'd say even better, but 60?
Well, that's why I said 60. That's a little iffy. It makes you think a little bit. I want some 80 and 85 degree days in the spring and summer. And
No, I'll take 60.
yeah, I'd probably take 60 too. At least you're not going to have to shovel snow or anything.
Right.
Or drive in it or...
Yeah.
This weekend, I got blacked out, then had my whole dugout. After finishing on the headboard, I ordered $70 of Domino's, but passed out in the nude before the pizza got to the house.
Don't say in the nude.
Doug, that's from Caller Buzz.
We didn't need any of that. We didn't need any of
We're
that.
kind of doing an update on what we all did this weekend, and
need to
that
know
was
that
Caller Buzz.
Passed out in the nude. I didn't need to hear that.
He got his whole dugout and ordered $70 at Domino's.
The problem is you wake up and then you go out to your front door and there's old pizza that you just realized you
didn't
ordered
go get
last
it?
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$70, that'd get you about 5 pizzas or so.
Nah, not with the DoorDash fees or the delivery fees. That might be one za.
One for $70?
One or two. They bang you on the delivery fees.
Domino's isn't expensive.
It's not Domino's. That's the expensive part. It's anytime you get something delivered on one of those third-party apps, they get you.
But I think Domino's has their own delivery, don't they?
Oh, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a nap. And when I wake, if he's still talking, I know it's time for the Gatesworth. It's from Chairman Steve in Wildwood. He's had enough of today's program.
8:05 nap.
Well, how long of a nap you taking? How about if I take a nap and you're not texting in anymore?
Oh.
Gosh. Well, what do you want to talk about, Steve? Go ahead and text in. Don't call. Please, don't call.
I guess what is a harbinger and what is an unharbinger would be a good topic.
I would like to talk Ryder Cup, but that's up to you guys.
Oh, okay.
Well, why wouldn't we?
You can dive into that now?
Right.
Well, not just for the results, because, I mean, it's just... I I don't know how some of these matchups, why you kept throwing Spieth and Thomas back out there. You kept throwing Morikawa out there. He sucked. You didn't play Fowler at all on Saturday. Then you start making excuses about a little bit of bug going through our room. I'm not making excuses. Well, you brought it up. So, yes, nobody asked you were people sick.
Gosh.
You brought it up on Friday. Yeah, a little bit of bug going through. Our doctors are doing great. It's not an excuse. Well, it was because you just brought it up.
Okay, you said
Making excuses. So we'll have Tiger next year. We don't have to worry about it. But this Joe LaCava thing with the hats, and Rory had every reason to be upset. Not because they were shaking their hats because Cantlay made a putt and they still got 2 putts to tie the hole. But he's doing it right next to Rory where he's trying to line up his putt. And all Rory just said, "Can you move?" And then he started yelling, "You're a caddy.
Oh.
Stay the hell out of it.
Huh.
You have no business celebrating and
That wasn't your
running
attitude
around the
when you were
green
a
with the
caddy.
hat." Well, I caddy for people we really had no celebrating at all. But you're a caddy. You don't need to be running around the green shaking your hat. Get the hell out of there. Rory had every reason to be upset. And then you took it to the parking lot. You had to go further. It's really stupid.
Oh.
There's my take on Joe LaCava.
Clip that off. Here is what Rory had to say on the Joe LaCava situation and how it led to fueling Team Europe for Sunday.
A lot went on the last 24 hours. I know it's been emotional for you. Can you just tell us what took place this morning and a meeting with Joe Carver on property? How was your head entering this match today?
I haven't met you.
There was no clear up of what took place last night.
I haven't met you.
Okay, so how were you feeling after what took place and how determined were you to win this blue point?
I was focused. I was very focused. I let it fuel me. I didn't let it take away from what's been a fantastic week. And, I used that little incident last night to my advantage.
And did it fuel the team in general, do you think?
Yeah, it did. It was a bit of a deflating finish last night, but I think what transpired on that last green, it all gave us a bit of a fire in our bellies to go out and try to get the job done today.
Was he saying, "I haven't met Joe"? Is that what he said?
Yeah, LaCava had said
I
that I talked to Rory this morning and we cleared the air. And,
LaCava said that?
And Rory said, "No, I didn't talk to him."
I didn't know he said that. I thought it was a report from Golf Digest. But I didn't know LaCava said it.
I think it was a report that either LaCava told them or Bones Mackay or one of the other caddies said, "Yeah, they talked this morning and cleared the air." Somebody said they'd met this morning. That's why she asked the question. He said, "I never met him."
I'm kind of getting tired of McIlroy thinking he's the moral police of all things professional golf. Just relax a little.
Well, he is the face of the PGA Tour now, so I guess he thinks the obligation to speak because Tiger's not there anymore. So somebody's got to be the face of this tour.
No one has to be the face. They're all the face. It's an individual sport.
Well, it's an individual sport, but it's an entity. And, when things are happening like Live Golf and the Saudis, and somebody's got to be a spokesperson. It's not going to be Monahan. So Rory brings it upon himself and pretty much elected to be the speaker for the PGA Tour.
I guess.
I think what he was really pissed off about is the fact that he lost. That's what I think it was about, and that was his way to vent. I know in the moment he was asking him to get out of his line, but I think he was pissed that he lost, and it let the United States at least go to bed thinking they had some chance. I think that's what that was really about.
You talking about the parking lot or on the green?
I'm talking about the parking lot. Yeah, I think that's what that was about.
Yeah, and it cost me money because I lost. I missed cashing by 1.5 points, and that would have been 5 points.
Now we're getting down to it. Now just hit the raw nerve.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it is the Ryder Cup, and, tensions are high. And
awful lot of crying. Awful lot of crying involved.
Yeah,
Come on.
Scheffler lost after he cried.
Doug, they lost 9 and 7.
Yeah, he cried after that.
Mm-hmm. Well, why is there any crying at all? Why is anyone out there crying?
And you haven't won.
It's a sports event. There's always going to be a winner and a loser. You're all fabulous multimillionaires. There's no reason to be crying over any of this.
And the European press is just a joke, too. I mean, they just make stuff up to try and,
Yeah, fortunately, it doesn't go on in the United States.
No, it never happens here.
But they're the ones that made stuff up this year. Cantlay never said, we need money, I'm not wearing this hat, there's friction in the clubhouse. I mean, none of that stuff went on.
Does it matter if there's friction in the clubhouse when you're standing on the tee trying to hit your ball straight? Do you care what somebody said to you?
According to the captains, is we're a cohesive team. We're all bonding together in our pods.
It's
and
overanalyzing.
I could not agree more.
Yeah.
You're standing over a putt, you could care less what someone said to you.
100%. And whether or not you hit the ball off the club face or not, that Tommy Fleetwood hit a ball that was perfect under pressure, probably 300 yards on 16, 300-plus yards. It's got nothing to do with whether or not they're getting along in the room or not.
Or you hit a 290-yard
such
drive.
a BS thing.
You got a bad lie. Oh, boy, if only the chemistry was better in the clubhouse.
It's such a...
Yeah, I agree with you. But that's all the captains and the Ryder Cup, and all along they said, why does Europe play so well and win so many in a row before the U.S. took over? Well, because we have more camaraderie. We do things together.
No, they had guys who hit fairways higher percentage than the United States.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
They
but the Ryder Cup, they think is different, and they want to make things up. And
well, that's media.
Well, they
look at Super Bowl week. Super Bowl week, all these trivial things. Well, I get that they say that, but they also get asked about it. Like Cardinal players don't necessarily go out of their way to talk about the best fans in baseball. They get asked about it on opening day.
Yeah.
And so then it becomes let me feed you the line, and then you regurgitate it.
But I think the question that I first heard...
Jordan Spieth had a great analysis because the United States, for whatever reason, really struggles in alternate shot. I have no idea. I think they've been outscored 20-4 in the last 3 European Ryder Cups in alternate shot. And why? That is a data point. That is of note. And he gave an answer that had nothing to do with whether or not they were laughing in the room or if Patrick Cantlay was wearing a hat and what else. That's something that needs to be analyzed. Eduardo Molinari, the brother of Francesco Molinari, who was the leader when Tiger won the Masters in 2019, is a data nerd, and they set up the course based on what was beneficial to the European team.
Sure, they did. Better drivers, so we're going to make the rough
driving. Sure. Yeah, and it was cut down actually relative to when it was what it was like earlier in the year. But I mean, I realize also most people have zero interest in hearing about that. What's titillating and what got everybody talking was Patrick Cantlay not wearing a hat, the United States waving at the team after he made that at the crowd after he made that long putt on Saturday, and then LaCava. But as far as like why the Europeans won, I mean, what the Americans really got along when Bryson was on the team a couple of years ago and Mickelson was on the team. You know, I mean, I know you're not saying that, but I'm saying if you like play this out, it's just a BS thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it all started, I don't know, 30 years ago, and it wasn't a question about how come you guys are, so close to each other. Somebody, I think it might have been the Golf Channel, asked the question, why is the European team just so successful? And I think whoever this captain said, well, I think it's because on the European Tour, we're a lot closer than they are on the PGA Tour. We do things together. And that's the first time I heard that. And then everybody kind of jumped on it. Oh, they're so cohesive. They're great friends in a clubhouse, and the PGA Tour is all individuals, and they're not team players. And that's where that all started from. Now it's every year. It's, we're great in the pods. These 4 pods are great, and these guys get along together. They're playing ping pong together. And now that's when it started. And now every year, every 2 years, it's the same thing.
Why are we talking about this? Those effing losers got their ass kicked. And like I said Friday, they're a national embarrassment. Koepka should be banned from that event forever from getting embarrassed 9-7. That's from the Warson Woods Wacko. He's had enough with Brooks Koepka.
Why are we talking about it? But you just texted in about it.
My favorite part was when it appeared that Europe had won the thing, I guess when Spieth conceded a putt.
Ricky.
Oh, I thought it was Spieth conceded a putt to somebody.
Ricky reseeded him.
And some old guy ran out of the stands, ran across the fairway, and jumped into the lake.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the best
16.
moment. Yeah, for no apparent reason, he just ran and jumped.
There
into
was
the lake.
about a half hour where I'm like, "Holy crap, they can win this thing!"
Yep.
It did happen.
Yeah. Scheffler not getting that full point on Rahm was the killer.
That hurt. I mean, Ricky Fowler blowing it into the water on 16 that's just,
Yeah, there was a lot of red on the board.
Yeah, they were actually in position to win the Ryder Cup. They really were. if you were watching it, I don't know how many people were really watching it, but I absolutely watched it. They were in a position, and I guess Fowler felt like he had to be aggressive with the situation. They couldn't tie, and so he just missed it horribly. At the same time, Homa did the same thing, and Homa was the star for the United States. He blew it right into that water.
Yeah, he was lucky.
Rory McIlroy hit 3-wood onto that green. His stock 3-wood is 305 yards. I mean, dear God. And he's my size,
right?
And
I think it was Zach Johnson that talked Spieth into hitting 3-wood on that hole on Friday, I believe.
He said I would never tell someone what to hit.
Well, if you watch the replay, he walks right up to him and says something in his ear, and he goes and pulls his 3-wood, so he must have said something.
They gave him information. He doesn't give advice. He just gives information.
All right. Well, everybody's hitting 3-wood here. That sounds like advice to me.
I don't think everybody was hitting 3-wood. Rory did, because Rory can hit it further than anybody.
Well,
or he hit 3-wood just to miss left.
Yeah. Well, whatever he said, he changed clubs. So maybe he didn't say, hit 3-wood here, buddy, but he gave him enough information to make him switch clubs. So
I texted Friday, avocado pit. Doug, what's avocado pit?
Know.
Friday after they lost 4-0. Stop talking about it. We know your whole reason for bringing it up was to remind everybody you caddied for a bunch of C-level girls at an LPGA tournament 30 years ago. Shut up!
Oh,
Orson Woods Wacko.
I never brought that up. And I said you just texted because you said, why are we talking about this? They lost Friday. They shouldn't have won 6-7. That you just broke it down again. So you talked about it today, too. And I don't even think I brought up the LPGA.
Dan Rappaport, who's now like the main Barstool reporter, he's really, really good. He was great on the coverage, but he had a great point. He was just like, the Ryder Cup is ripe for over-analysis because for all year, we don't get to talk about, pairings or formats or analyze anything from a team perspective. It's all individual. There's nothing really to analyze. So it's always going to be over-analyzed by the golf media.
Same thing with the Super Bowl. Same thing with college football. I mean, college football, I was watching Paul Feinbaum and Matt Berry. They do a show. I was watching it on YouTube this morning, actually, before coming in. And it really is. But I mean, I'm sure we're guilty of it too. It's narrative driven. Mm-hmm. The real information. I've told the little story 100 times. I was doing a show with Jim Edmonds about a decade ago, and I was all worked up about, I think, the Cardinals and Dodgers, NLCS. And then he goes, well, the truth is, unless you're in the clubhouse, you really don't know what's going on. Like, oh my God, you just basically dropped a nuclear bomb on sports talk radio and podcasts now, because that is the truth. So it all just becomes speculative. The United States did go over to Europe and had a scouting mission for the golf course, which I did think was a great Ryder Cup venue. And as far as the way it's set up down the stretch. And Jordan Spieth didn't go, but he just had a baby. And Cantlay and Xander Schauffele didn't go. And now there's a story this morning that Xander Schauffele was nearly booted from the team because his father was hyperactive. And so all that does is add credence to reports that Cantlay and Xander Schauffele weren't necessarily high on being a part of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the team was fractured. So you can have some things be true and other things be false in a report. But then what happens in 2023 in media is if one part of it is inaccurate, then the whole thing gets blown up. Like the Brett McMurphy KU Missouri thing. I think he said either Missouri was going to go to a certain bowl or KU was going to go to a certain bowl, and then that proved to be just not true. And so then the part about Missouri and KU playing in the Liberty Bowl, the whole thing's false. But in reality, I believe he had one thing right, and then somebody lost, and then that had a trickle-down effect on the bowl projections. But then if somebody doesn't like a story, then they'll point to that part to then discredit the whole story or discredit the reporter or something like, Bernie Miklasz had the Matt Painter thing, and it was 12 years ago, but he still has to own it, even though he's got a 40-year, Hall of Fame career. It's just the way that the game is played. In particular, now more with podcasts and social media, which really have no form of accountability if you're incorrect. That guy in England, is it Jamie? I don't know. I know nobody knows.
Weir, I thought.
I thought it was Jamie Weir.
Yeah.
Reported something, and Patrick Cantlay didn't even know what the hell he was talking about with the hat thing. Oh, yeah. And that's what started that whole thing.
Sky Sports, that's where Jamie
was.
Sky Sports.
But he'll be on the No Laying Up podcast. It started the whole thing. Right. So imagine something as inconsequential, relatively speaking, as the Ryder Cup, and how one tweet becomes the truth, and then it impacts all of that, the domino effect that then followed. One tweet. Imagine the misinformation we receive in things that actually matter in the world, and how there's no proof to say, hey, this is BS.
And some people believed it. I saw a post on Facebook.
Well, still believe it.
Yeah, I saw a post on Facebook talking about it and saying, can't delay, if you want money, just quit. If you don't want to wear the hat because you're not getting any money, then just don't play on the team. And I said, well, that's not what happened. He didn't wear the hat because it didn't fit, and he didn't wear a hat 2 years ago either. So
it's hard to believe you couldn't get a hat that fits.
That I don't buy personally.
Yeah.
Maybe he just didn't like the hat. He's like, I don't like the
hat
manufacturer or something.
Brutally bad.
If you watch the interviews with him, he absolutely thinks they should be paid to play in the Ryder Cup, because he was very evasive with that. But then at the same time, when he was asked about the hat thing, he was completely confused by the whole thing. He didn't even know what the hell was going on by it. So you're asking me what I think was going on. I think he absolutely wanted to be paid. But I think the hat thing was something that was concocted. That in the whole scheme of things, who gives a damn?
It was weird.
But he didn't wear a hat at Whistling Straits.
Yeah. Well, then you'd think he would have just said that. I just don't want to wear a hat.
He did.
Well, the interview I heard, he said that the hat didn't fit.
Right.
So, how hard is it to get a hat that fits?
I don't know.
That's got to be.
I mean, you see baseball hats
sometimes.
sometimes.
So just say I just didn't want to wear the hat.
Maybe he's got a weird head.
Trust me, I know all about it.
And then
this is start.
It's Cantley! Drop the A-U-S! Who's your daddy?
It's Drinkowitz, too. I think it's like 4 Ryder Cups ago when they started talking about getting paid, and some players came out and said, we should get paid for this. You're all making money off this. And that's when it started, that they should all get paid. I think they get paid at the President's Cup now.
They do.
I thought it was interesting. Jaime Diaz on the Golf Channel said that 20% of the, I don't know if it's the revenue or the profit, from the Ryder Cup goes to the PGA Tour pension. So they do get paid.
Yeah, funnel.
And it's tax-free.
Right.
So that's an important part of the discussion. That's the only place I heard that. That doesn't mean that it wasn't said elsewhere, but I obviously consumed a lot of information about the event. So they do. It's just
I can see where they
it's
want
like saying, well, I don't get paid. I get a 401k. Well, no, you're actually getting paid, and if anything, it's pretty good because it's taxed until you withdraw it, unless you're Roth IRA.
Yeah. You fly a private jet over there. You're staying in tremendous surroundings. You get fed every night. So what, you're there for a week and you don't get paid for it.
I could see where they would want a little something extra for that.
No, I can see that, but it's always been like that, and you're all multimillionaires anyway. But
so are the people that run
I get
broadcast networks.
I get it, but y'all talk about us for the country, and first of all, this is just so overblown. It's for our country. Well, you don't. There's some countries can't even play in it. So you just leave out. We got the President's Cup. Well, good. It's not the Ryder Cup. Min Woo Lee, Adam Scott.
I was wondering when he was going to get
these guys can't play in the Ryder Cup
it's at 8:23.
because we.
That's been the case forever.
I know it is, but still, it makes no sense that we're playing for our country. Why can't they play for their country?
They do, President's Cup.
I said the President's Cup isn't like the Ryder Cup. I don't even know why there's a President's Cup. It's just to let Australia play, I guess.
South Africa.
It's all about Australia
and Asia. That's why the Solheim Cup is a joke. USA, we're the best. We'll take on everybody but Asia, which is 12 of the top 20 in the country are from Asia, so we didn't get to play them. And you still couldn't win. So it's just, we fighting for a country. What about the other countries? You don't let them do USA versus the world or Asia versus the world and have the USA be part of playing against Asia because you're not the best country in the world when it comes to golf.
Tushy boat. Wear that tushy boat tight.
Where is it? As far as I could tell, there was no tissue booth on that course this week.
There was plenty of opportunity to have one there.
It's Italy. There was some play going on somewhere in the woods.
I was thinking behind the 16 green, there could have been a nice tushy booth. Because you get that good camera angle from the tee box. Yeah. What a beautiful last 3 holes, by the way. Perfect for the ending.
You know who was there? Sarah B. The Place to Be was there. She was in Italy for the Ryder Cup.
Sarah B. in The Place to Be, Doug.
And who was that?
Sarah B. She used to do a show with Jay and Joe and
Ken, is this a sketch or a bit right now? There's no way that this is real. That's from DraftKings Cal.
It was very real. And I believe that wholeheartedly, that when you leave countries out, and it's always the USA versus. Well, you're not the best country for golf anymore. So why is it you against everybody else? Why can't it be another country versus you be part of the other,
Well, because this is a historic thing they've been doing for many years.
I know it's not going to change, but I can still have an opinion that I don't think, especially the Solheim Cup. The USA should not be playing anybody. We'll play everybody. Nah, if you played Asia versus the world, you may have 2 girls on the team on the Solheim
Now you're
Cup
talking
team.
about women's golf.
Yeah, and it's the same in the USA. I mean, you would think that the USA, as far as rankings, had probably better players.
In women's golf?
They had 4 rookies on their team.
But hardly
On the
anyone
Europe
follows
team.
women's golf.
I'm talking about the Ryder Cup.
Now we're back to men's golf.
Yeah, they probably had the better team, but you leave out other countries. You leave out other countries, they don't have the best team. So it should be the world versus pick another country than the USA. It's always USA versus USA versus USA versus. How about USA just goes into the President's Cup, all the countries that don't get to play. President Cup would be, Australia versus the world, and have the USA play on the other team, not the USA team.
I don't know. Because we're by far the biggest country with the golf being such a huge sport. Hello. I mean, we got 330 million people that live here.
How many people live in Australia?
6.
Probably a fraction of that. Nowhere near that.
Kylie Minogue.
Well, if you're going by population,
Angela White.
It should be India versus
Yeah, but
Great Britain.
it's not a big golf country.
Is Paul Hogan still alive? Crocodile Dundee?
I think
What do
he
you got
is.
against Arjan?
I don't know.
What do you got against Arjan Atwell?
I don't have anything against
25 million is the population.
25 million. So California is as big as Australia.
He's still alive.
Really?
So he's in too.
83 bills.
Nice.
You like Crocodile Dundee?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Yeah, it made me really question the Solheim Cup.
Let's start a
But I got
petition.
out of the movement.
Let's start a petition. It should be Asia versus the rest of the world, and just have the USA be part of the rest
This
of
is
the
just a
world.
tournament that's been going on forever, so let them have it.
Yeah, but then they bitch about this. Was
Hey, but those other countries, Australia might have something going with New Zealand or something. I don't know or care. Let them do it.
well, then quit complaining about
I'm
it.
not complaining about it.
complaining.
Solheim Cup.
Doug, why are you complaining about the Solheim Cup?
You're part of the
Because
problem,
of
Doug.
Crocodile Dundee.
The USA was complaining. This is the perfect time with us in Europe and the Ryder Cup next week in Europe. We could have promoted both tours and had a whole thing. No, nobody cares about you. Don't blame the PGA because they don't want to promote them with you.
Oh. I just thought there was too much crying. That's what I took away from it. Stop the crying. Why is it so emotional?
Who did you see weeping outside of Scotty Scheffler?
I saw Zach Johnson was in tears during his interview. I saw John Rahm said he was crying at one point.
2 years ago, Rory cried like a baby.
Yeah, stop the crying!
I never give up on my dreams. Okay?
That's Scotty.
Jackson's having a big day.
Scotty after getting killed 9-7.
That's the world by the tail. You're fabulously wealthy and you're not yet 30 years old. What could possibly bring you to tears on the golf course?
Yeah, they're playing for their country. They let their country down. I don't think anybody in the country cared.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in the country is going to change their thought process based on what happened in a golf match. Geez, I sure don't feel good about living in Spain anymore. We lost that Ryder Cup.
Someone hit this guy with a trank dart. Please. That's from the pig of the coal mine.
We're all talking about it.
Oh.
I like the idea,
My
though.
God almighty.
I like the idea of talking about it. Do you support the EDF Group as a sponsor at TMA? It's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher where you work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how
I'm just going to go to the bathroom while you do a couple
Why are
live
you leaving
spots.
now? We might get back to the Solheim
All right,
Cup.
I'll pee in my pants. I would have been back by the time we got done with 2 or 3
go
live
ahead.
spots.
You should wet yourself.
the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hot. It will prevent your facility from having hot fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at theedfgroup.com. Jackson, Doug, tell me about your hair and why it's so lush.
Oh, well, I had some friends who I haven't seen for a while.
Oh, really? They're starting to notice?
They go, you get a haircut? I go, well, a couple months ago. They go, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I'm telling you. And I also have some friends who might need themselves a little bit of,
You've tried to turn them on to it.
Well, I just said, don't be afraid. I didn't want to name names, but I was like, don't be afraid. I got a little solution here for you. Go to St. Louis Hair Restoration. Just go for a consultation. I'm not saying you need to go in there and immediately start, spending money or getting, new hair situation, a surgery or something. That's not what I'm saying. Just go in for a consultation. They're very knowledgeable. They are patients themselves. Founder Greg Kryling and Dr. Polinga, they're patients themselves. They've been through it. They know that when you look in the mirror and you're seeing the hair isn't where it was maybe 5-10 years ago, that it can be really tough for your mental health. Go in there and talk to them because they'll have solutions. For me, it wasn't as invasive as an FUE procedure. It was just simply some finasteride I take every morning and this laser cap they give me. I wear it like 6 minutes a night. Super easy to do. But in some situations, like Doug, they say, hey, how about some FUE? It's a really cool procedure. Doug, tell us a little bit about the FUE.
Yeah, you're talking about how your friends react. My friends, almost all of them could use it. When I'm wearing a hat or something, they lift up my hat and they said, who are you trying to fool? They're not trying to fool anybody. I'd just rather have hair than not have hair, and now I'm starting to get it. I'm a little more than 3 months out, and I got a lot of wispy little hair here in the front because I had that FUE procedure where you can permanently have hair where you didn't used to have it. So if your hair has been bothering you, if you look in the mirror, you don't have to be old, you don't have to be young. At any age, they can take care of you. But if your hair has bothered you and you don't like the way that it looks now, do something about it. There's a permanent solution, and they have that at St. Louis Hair Restoration. Dr. Polinga is outstanding at this. He's done it for many years. He's done some big-name people when he worked in Nashville. Of course, he couldn't tell you. They keep that confidential. But he said he's worked on some big-name people in the country music industry, and now he's worked on some big-name people in HD2 radio.
Yes.
Because he's worked on us.
Bill.
It takes about 6 months after an FUE procedure to see a lot of hair growth, so I'm only about halfway there, and I've already got a lot of wisp. Look at me on YouTube, a lot of wispy hair right there on the hairline. It's coming in. And it can come in for you, too. And as I keep saying, because everybody seems to ask me, how much did it hurt? Didn't hurt at all. Didn't hurt in the least. They numb the scalp up so there's no pain involved. A little bit of swelling for some people, certainly no pain. So if you're thinking about doing this, go ahead, pull the trigger, get it done. You'll be happy that you did. Check out all the information at stlouishairrestoration.com.
The Illinois Recovery Center is the new premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. When it comes to the disease of addiction, getting help should not be as difficult as it currently is. The Illinois Recovery Center's mission is to be the receiving hand in the community when someone seeks help. The IRC delivers a comprehensive system of care that welcomes both the individual struggling and family alike. If you or someone you know wants to learn about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or email info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com. Send your emails in for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. Text in, EDF Group, text inbox 314-881-TMA5, and you're welcome to call in 636-9004-TMA. This is TMA. Place your title sponsorship here from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I'm with a great sponsor of TMA, and that's Longo Biggs of the Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. People are starting to head out now. It is summertime, but that means an increase in car accidents.
Hey guys, like Tim just said, summer is finally here, and that means there's more people on the roadways. And you might be going to a Cardinals game, or maybe you're headed home from taking your buddy's money on the golf course. But with increased traffic on the roads, it also means a higher likelihood for car accidents. If you get in an accident, contact our firm immediately. We've successfully handled a countless number of car, motorcycle, and truck accidents. And if you go to our website, you will see we have received awards for doing so. We will make the process easy for you while maximizing the compensation you receive. Go to our website or Google Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, you know, living in the country or in a small town has its benefits. You know your neighbors, you got breathable air, life is good, but slow internet is kind of the way it goes out here. Your video calls are laggy, websites load at a snail's pace. Well, there's one company that can help us folks out here. They're called Whisper, like whisper without the H. They bring high-speed internet to rural places. No contracts, no hidden fees, with a satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Check them out at whisperisp.com.
The Illinois Recovery Center is dedicated to providing precise and authentic care to those seeking help and treatment. Whether you've made the life-saving choice to seek help on your own or you want to be prepared for the other end of an addiction intervention with a loved one, the chance to learn about addiction recovery is available to you at the Illinois Recovery Center in Swansea. If you or someone you know wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or email info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com.
When we think of a real estate agent, we think of somebody simply selling our home or finding us a new one. I mean, they're all the same, right?
Okay, here's the comps. We'll take some pics, we'll post them, and I'll get back to you, okay?
A home is life-changing, and your real estate agent should reflect that. Honesty, integrity, and someone who will go above and beyond to make your dreams come true.
The Jeff Lotman Group with Compass Realty. We're different because you're different. We want what you want. Experience the difference today at jefflotman.com, bringing people and properties together.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you or fake you or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's sports talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday. Right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good. So check it out on 101 ESPN. Or get the podcast on the TMA app. The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
And it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting. And it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at TMASTL.com. Open up your TMA mobile app and enter keyword haunted to win a 4-pack of tickets to Six Flags Fright Fest. Happening select days now through October 29th. The fear returns this fall with 15 haunted attractions like haunted houses, scare zones, shows, and rides in the dark. When the sun goes down, the scare factor turns up. Experience chilling rides in Coaster and Darkness. Unleash your screams at Fright Fest and put your bravery to the test. You can't escape Fright Fest at Six Flags. Find out more on the TMA mobile app or at TMASTL.com.
105.7 HD2. It's the morning after.
Doug, we can talk.
Some kids have and some kids don't. Some of us are wondering why.
Welcome back. It's the morning after. Kids call TMA. Gotta get my headphones right. There's gentle hands. Michelob Ultra Studios. Text in EDF Group text inbox. Call in 636-9004-TMA. Be a friend of the feather. Are you my friend? Do you want to be?
We haven't had a call today, have we?
Yeah, you pissed?
Or do we get them and the guys just don't pick the phone up?
It's a shot at KG O-Town in the Seckman C6 Studios.
Stay in your lane, Doug.
Okay, sorry. Have we figured out what C6 stands for yet?
Cuck. He already told you.
I think someone texted in consolidated.
I think that's correct.
How about the 6?
The 6th one that's been consolidated.
That's correct. Know. Well, Can't you consolidate without putting a letter behind it?
No.
God, you sound so dumb.
Okay. Yeah, you do sound dumb.
Nice show prep.
Consolidated 6. I don't know that needs to be in the name.
Hurry up, jam a chair underneath the door handle so he can't come back in. You want to sit in here, KG 010, just so we can see the reaction?
Yeah, let's do it.
Gosh.
Oh, bad idea, Jeans.
No, let's keep the peace.
Yeah, kids. Doug, what a win it was in Vanderbilt.
Sure was. I'm more impressed by Brady Cook every time I watch him.
I know. It's unbelievable. That was nearly 40 yards.
If he plays the way he does, if he continues to do that, the way he played over the last 3 weeks, he's going to find himself on an NFL team someday. I know he's got a whole other year to play, but when you throw for darn near 400 yards, you never throw an interception. You set an SEC record for not throwing picks. He's big. He's tough. He'll hang in and throw. He might have a future at the next level.
Absolutely.
As hard as that is to believe from where he was.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at him the last couple of weeks, he's just been brilliant.
To me, it's been like he's just building confidence every single week.
Yeah.
Like after that Kansas State game where he extended the field a little bit, took the top off, was still effective with his feet. He was like, "Oh, I can really do this."
Don't say he took the top off.
That's what they do.
Yeah,
Nice, take the top off.
When they go to Speedy Johnson, they're taking the top off.
Yeah, Speedy.
He's got some good wide receivers to work
That's
with.
the key. I mean, the fact this week, especially with Theo Weiss getting more and more involved, it seems each week incrementally, that's huge because you can't just be Luther Burden. You can't
And Johnson's incredible too.
Yeah, he's obviously the guy who takes the top off. But
Stop saying take the top off.
Nice, take it off.
If you have Theo Weiss, who's a great route runner and obviously has incredible hands, I mean, that's a really nasty 1-2 combo of him and Burden.
Yeah. Doug, do you have a...
Yeah, I don't like anything that starts that
They
way.
played Vandy. Pump the damn brakes. That's from Dimitri Sokolutu.
Hey, they're on scholarship too.
You can only play who's on the schedule.
SEC team.
Currently, Missouri's strength of schedule is ranked. Doug, there are 133 teams that get ranked, and Missouri's strength of schedule to date is 90th.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, their projected strength of schedule when the season finishes up, in other words, the next 7 games, Missouri will finish with the 4th hardest strength of schedule.
4th hardest?
Yeah. So buckle up. Season starts.
Yeah.
Got the win against K-State. But otherwise, you would have expected them to be, at worst, 4-1. If it was anything other than 4-1, it would be a problem. I think some people are looking at it and going, how the hell Missouri is ranked ahead of LSU? Missouri's undefeated. LSU has 2 losses. Well, let me start with this, Doug.
Okay.
If Missouri played LSU's schedule, what do you think Missouri's record would be?
Oh,
They played Florida State neutral site. They played at Hail State. They played at home against Arkansas. And they played on the road at Ole Miss. And then they played Grambling in between.
2-3, maybe 3-2.
Probably 3-2, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay. And if LSU played Missouri's schedule, what record?
Probably 5-0.
Okay, all right. So now at least we're operating on the same premise of honesty. So that's how you, from my standpoint anyway, analyze a team. I have no idea what to expect this weekend. I think if we're being, at least from my standpoint, honest about it, I think LSU being a 2-loss team takes some of the luster off the game. Do you agree with that, Jackson?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It certainly does.
LSU opened as an 8-point favorite. They're currently a 6.5-point favorite for the record, and 67% of the bets, but there's only 1,350 that are registered by. I get this information at actionnetwork.com. I've gotten some people wondering where I get it from, actionnetwork.com, and pay for the service. 38% of the money is on, or 67% of the money, is on LSU. 29% of the bets are on LSU. So there is a near 40% discrepancy. But again, it's a very small sample size. The game will kick off with thousands and thousands and thousands more bets than where it is right now. It's super early in the season.
Yeah, I know Kansas State was ranked. I don't know how good Kansas State really is, though, but Missouri really hasn't played anybody. I think LSU wins by 3 touchdowns.
By 3 touchdowns? I won't stand for that.
What?
Where did that come from?
Do you want them to lose again? Are you going to root for Missouri to lose again?
I want them to win.
3 touchdowns at home?
I mean, they gave up a ton of yardage to Dart in Mississippi and Judkins, but, I don't see him stopping Diggs. I don't see him stopping Daniels. I think they just run 48 points on Mizzou.
Oh.
Brady's going to have to score 49.
Yeah.
I'm taking Mizzou money line.
Hell yeah, KG.
I've been beating this drum all year.
I don't see why not. I mean,
Well,
what has LSU
Well, they haven't
shown?
played
And
anybody.
they
That's
played
fine.
Kansas State.
I said one team that was ranked, and that shows you how stupid rankings are. I don't think they should have been 15 in the country. But
Well, the point might be that the ranking shouldn't start until a certain week. I agree with you on that. But, I mean, LSU's got to come to Columbia. Missouri's playing good football offensively. It doesn't matter who they're playing. They're playing good offensive football. I think that they can keep up with LSU. I think they can keep up with damn near anybody. What has anyone in the SEC so far shown you to say that they're world beaters? Georgia's struggled a bunch.
but you don't know if Mizzou's a world beater either.
I'm not saying that they
played
are.
Nobody.
I'm not saying that they are, but I'm also saying that the SEC has proven, so LSU playing Mississippi State and Arkansas, who have kind of looked kind of crummy. Ole Miss, obviously, but that was at Ole Miss. That's a whole different night game at Ole Miss, by the way. I don't know. I just don't think anyone in the SEC has shown you enough to say that they can beat anybody by 3 touchdowns. And that's including Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah. You'd have to have a real breakdown to lose by 3 touchdowns.
Right. I mean, Florida or Kentucky just beat up on Florida. Florida.
Kentucky looks as good as anybody.
Right. So I think it's pretty wide open. That's what excites me, is even though they haven't played, because I agree, because they haven't played a very tough schedule up to this point. But what's exciting is that the SEC is kind of open for business.
You just got to go 1-0 this week.
Now
That's coach speak.
Now you're talking like drink.
Yeah, he's rubbing off on me.
Let's see. My book has it at 6 now, for the record. I don't see a money line. Anybody see a money line? I would have gathered that they got to be like plus 300.
I was going to say plus 310, Tim.
Nice.
I can tell you right now because I had that.
Oh, here we go.
Up, plus 215.
Plus 215.
Yeah, the total is set at 62.5.
I was watching LSU.
Yep.
Was at dinner with my wife on Saturday night. Olive and Oak Dog.
Oh,
Wonderful
yeah.
treat.
Okay.
Dover Soul? Or ribeye?
Neither, actually.
Really?
Toward the tail end of that game, I was really hoping LSU would win that game. And unfortunately, because now they're barely in the top 25, I also think it would have been good. I'm curious, and I don't know if there would be a recent case study, and I was going through the preseason top 25 last year to try to figure it out. I guess Clemson might be an example of a team that had national championship aspirations, and then by the time they're out of September, they're over. I suppose if you have anarchy in college football, and maybe there is not a team that is head and shoulders above everybody. I mean, to date, Georgia's won, but they don't necessarily look like it. Just because they have had problems with South Carolina. They did have problems against Auburn. I don't think that you sit there and you go, Texas is there. USC's defense kept Colorado in that game. Michigan beat the hell out of Nebraska, but they kind of fumbled around. Maybe they're right. I don't know. Ohio State, very fortunate. Notre Dame decided to only play with 10 the last 2. So I don't know if there's like a clear powerhouse, and maybe it's Washington. A lot of college football analysts talk about Washington. But how many people have watched Washington? And Oregon was down early to Stanford, but then pulled away. But with that all said, I wonder psychologically if you're a player on LSU, if you go, crap, we can't win the national title. Now, if they run the table, and I believe 5 of their final 6 games are in Baton Rouge. If they run the table, they can absolutely still win, you would think, the SEC West. As a matter of fact, I think they can, unless Ole Miss runs the table, because they would have the head-to-head on Alabama. If they run the table, they can then theoretically still win the SEC, and I'm sure Brian Kelly is going to focus on, hey, we can still win the SEC West just like we did last year, even though we had 2 losses, but can they still get in the college football playoff picture? Point being, is LSU done? Like, Clemson's done.
Right.
But I don't know how many people really thought Clemson was a national championship contender this year. LSU was talked about as a national championship contender. They just have, I think, the toughest start to the schedule of damn near anybody. I mean, if you do look at strength of schedule right now, their strength of schedule for the first 5 games is,
it's probably like
brutal.
Notre Dame, probably in the top 10. There.
Yeah, Notre Dame just had some real butt asses along with a surprising Duke team. Yeah. But LSU's current strength of schedule is 4th.
Yeah.
And the only ones tougher, how about this? Colorado, South Carolina, and Purdue. So
I would think LSU is done. I would think.
I would think they are. Brian Kelly certainly is going to do everything he can to tell them they're not. My question is motivation. I think motivation, you certainly see it when it comes to bowl games. Now, I mean, even though before guys started to not play in bowl games, the motivation factor. When, like, I think there was a year where Alabama played a kind of a random and got run. Auburn played, maybe it was UCF, I think, and got run. For UCF, it was everything. For Auburn, it's like, oh, what a disappointment that we're stuck here playing UCF. If you're LSU and you got a bunch of five-star players and your eye was on the national championship when you stepped on the field against Florida State in Orlando, and now it's October 7th and you're in Columbia, Missouri at 11 o'clock, are you motivated? And I don't know. But I think that's such a big thing when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. It's a different set of circumstances for LSU if they won. At the same time, maybe they are so consumed with the fact that Brian Kelly makes life a living hell this week that we have got to respond, and then they go on this tear because, again, 5 of their final 6 games are in Baton Rouge, and they could, that they are motivated. I don't know. I don't know how to handicap it.
Well,
I just, for the sake of the game, I wanted them to be a top 10 team with one loss, and now it's an 11 o'clock kick against a 2-loss team that still might be a top 10 team in the country as far as talent goes, but they look like they're a wounded, out of it.
Did they get out of that Ole Miss game healthy?
We don't take questions that you can look up on your own.
They got some kids banged up. There. They got some kids banged up, but they'll be okay.
Nobody that, from what I saw, nobody of note would have been injured.
They'll find 11 to suit up on Saturday.
Do they have anybody on scholarship?
Hell, they's on scholarship too.
Well, if you're Chip Kelly, you just have to say, look,
Brian
Kelly, you have to say, look, the Pac-12 is going to beat up on each other. Oregon, Washington, USC, they still got to play other teams. They're a great conference. They'll beat up on each other. Alabama. I mean, the SEC's up for snatch grabs.
Snatch grabs, Doug. Snatch grabs.
I mean, the two teams that probably have not a lock, but an inside to the Final Four is probably Texas. They got to play Oklahoma. And Florida State plays nobody in the ACC. Who's left in that conference?
Doug, who's left?
I don't know.
I mean, nobody.
Well, for motivation, you got to like Mizzou now because you've given them bulletin board material.
Yeah, you sent a message.
Well, two-time Hall of Famer in St. Louis radio has picked them to lose by 21.
Iggy Strode said that we're going to lose by 21, which they will.
And you're going to get attacked on Tiger Board today.
Yeah. Let me throw this out real quick before I forget.
Okay. Freebie? Somebody give you something?
No, for all the texters in the first hour saying you don't know what you're talking about. You asked for somebody who signed.
Doug, we're back on the Mets. I think we might be going New York Metropolitans.
Yeah,
so.
who signed a 1-2-3. Well, Scherzer was signed in 2022, so he wasn't signed last year. So
we're talking more Mets than they do in New York.
They didn't sign a 1-2-3 last year, so go back and try to find something else. As I said, I thought Scherzer signed in 2022, and everybody said I was crazy. But he signed with them in 2022. So they didn't sign a 1, 2, and 3 last year.
I mean, it's quite obvious at this point someone is being lied to.
I'm not lying to you. I just checked it on Baseball References. He signed in 2022.
Yeah. He won 11 games for the Mets in 2022.
Yeah, so
2.29.
Go find something else, folks.
MJ from the wealthy part of North City, you're on the clock. For the record, the Knowles, Doug, it's nothing but Tallahassee over the next few weeks for them. They have Virginia Tech. Do you like Doak Campbell? You ever go to Doak Campbell?
I have been there, yeah.
They got Syracuse and Tallahassee. Then they got Duke. And I really do think Duke was legitimate. I think Duke, that's such a shame what happened with Riley Leonard. I think that was a legitimate team. But they lose to Notre Dame on Saturday night. Wake Forest, and that's in Winston-Salem. Pitt, Miami's in Tallahassee as well. Then, Doug, the one that you want to go to, they play North Alabama on November 18th, and then they get the Gators, and that's in Gainesville. The Gators, fresh off of getting ripped by the undefeated Kentucky Wildcats, but they did beat Tennessee at the Swamp earlier this year. So that's what Florida State has between now and the end of the regular season as they sit 4-0.
It's going to be pretty exciting around here if the Mizzou Tigers win, and they're 6-0. I mean, we haven't dealt with that here in a while.
6-0. When's the last time Missouri was 6-0? Did they get there to 2013? We don't ask questions. We
yes,
don't
they
know
did.
the answers.
I looked it up over the weekend. I think they got to like 8.
They were 8-0 before they lost to South Carolina?
Yeah,
I
think
really?
they went down to Georgia and beat them.
They did, for sure.
Yeah, they were
8-0? 8-0 and they lost to South Carolina?
7-0.
7-0.
And really should have won that game. I mean, that's still talked about by Carolina fans.
And before that, I don't know that they were 7-0 in the
I
Chase
can't.
Daniel years.
No, because
Brad
they lost to Oklahoma. Was that October 13th, 2007?
I don't know the dates, Tim.
That gives you 12 and 14. So.
Yeah, it does. It's exactly right. It buys me October 12th and 14th.
I mean, you take away 2013, they probably haven't been 7-0 since the 60s.
Frank Broyles' years.
Early 70s, probably.
Dan Devine days.
Yeah, I'm sure he had some 7-0 starts.
I'm booking my hotel for Atlanta.
Oh, God. Despite the 21-point defeat to LSU.
Yeah, what about that?
I'll make a wager.
Uh-oh. Iggy, you want to wager with KG No-Town?
that?
Is the number 20 and a
You
half?
will not wager with him? Well, what's the wager? KG No-Town?
Well, I'm not wagering, so it doesn't matter.
Well, what if it's, like, really favorable for you?
I'm sure it won't be.
All right, let's hear. KG No-Town, what are you wagering?
Let me ponder that. Let me crunch some
Go
numbers.
money line.
If you're going to Atlanta, I just say I'll bet that they win the SEC East.
I don't think beating Georgia is completely out of the question.
Uh-oh.
Oh, now, don't get crestfallen over that. Someone who likes his club.
Georgia hasn't looked like world beaters. They're good,
No,
but
they haven't.
a Tigers offense is a wagon, baby.
Woody's wagon.
Woody's wagon. That was a great year. That was probably the last time they were 8-0.
No,
We'll
it
see when
wouldn't
they
have
go up
happened.
against the defense.
All right, let's bet then.
Well, I'm just asking. You said ponder it, so
No,
keep
bet-
pondering it and get back to me next month.
But don't be grouchy.
It'll be too late by then.
Iggy, you take LSU, KG, take Mizzou, and put some stakes on it. You're bypassing the 6.5 points and just going straight money line.
Right.
F it. I'll take money line.
There we go.
You're taking money line on the LSU game?
Yes, sir.
All right, Iggy.
I'll have to ponder it.
Oh, for heaven's
You just
sake.
said you like LSU by 21, and now you're getting them straight up.
Well, I do.
Well,
So why
then
would you
don't
make that
Well,
bet?
I bet who I want to bet with.
Oh,
This is personal now.
Get screwed.
Oh!
Hey, that was Prod Joe.
I wasn't talking to Prod Joe.
Would you place a bet with Prod Joe?
That went
No.
poorly the last time.
What if I go through a proxy?
I'll place,
Yeah, what if there's a proxy?
place a bet with my bookie.
Well, your bookie's not going to let you get Missouri or LSU on a money line even.
No, I don't need the money line. I'll take minus 6.5.
Why not?
Well, because I don't want to bet with them.
I'll take care of that.
The Tigers were 8-0 last year, but were stripped of wins due to a lack of recruit grinding while on a merry-go-round. Doug, that's in the Dogtown Astro van, and that's Brian Kelly's tactic down in Baton Rouge.
It seems to be working. You got some good players. Maybe they like that.
Guys, Iggy has to check with Cletus before he makes bets. That's from Painter Guy. Is that the reason?
No, Cletus backs my bets on the golf course. That's about it. And I don't ask him to back my football bets.
How will Mizzou stop Brock Bowers?
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. But we're not. We're focused on LSU right now. We'll get to Georgia eventually.
Look at that. Jackson's got us on LSU.
Brock Bowers is a monster. He's so good.
It was after they lost to Oklahoma in 2007 that I thought, God, I think this team might be really good, which was weird because they lost a game. But they went down there, and you're so used to Missouri when they played Oklahoma when they were good. There were a couple of years where Oklahoma was a doormat in the Big 12. 2007 was not one of them. That I thought, holy crap, maybe this is possible. And also it was clear that the Big 12 and their powerhouses were vulnerable, minus Oklahoma in 2007. Hence, Kansas being in the spot they were in, undefeated until that game at Arrowhead. In 2013, it was probably when they went to Athens and beat Georgia. If memory serves, somebody was out for Georgia that year, or in that game. Does anybody remember
I think
that?
Fran Tarkenton couldn't
Fran
play.
Tarkenton.
Yeah. He's probably the best quarterback Georgia's ever had.
Gurley was out in 14, I think, but then they had Nick Chubb, and that's when he made his debut. So either way, that's when you start to think it's possible. But I think 2007 was the first time that you go, holy crap, this can actually happen. What's so strange, if you would have told me Missouri was 5-0, it wouldn't have surprised me. But the way they're 5-0 is the part that surprises me. I mean, Brady Cook doing what he's doing. If Brady Cook had attention on him before the season, which would have been super weird, by national writers, he'd be in the Heisman conversation. And he's going to get a chance to do it. He's just going to have to do it against LSU, Kentucky, Georgia, Tennessee. You're going to get the chance. Doing it against South Dakota, Middle Tennessee State, Memphis, and Vanderbilt isn't going to get attention. But he did do it against Kansas State. So then you can go back if he does continue to do it. And doing it against LSU's defense certainly should happen. The issue for me that's really surprising is Missouri's defense does not look good. That's the thing that surprises me. If you would have told me Missouri was 5-0, I would go, okay, I guess they're winning games, 24-17 or something like that. And I can't figure that out, because the reason why they were hanging around games last year was because of their defense. And Brady Cook, with a torn shoulder labrum, you want to talk about that and how he's changed his throwing mechanics. And then also I think Luther Burden in the slot, those are three monster facts here. And Eli Drinkwitz, to his credit, bringing in an offensive coordinator, whether he was told to do it or not, they have one, and it's changed the game. But the defense has regressed. And you're going to have Jaden Daniels at quarterback. I mean, that's a much different operation than the backup quarterback for Vanderbilt, who was moving them up and down the field in the second half. And that's a game that Missouri should have been able to rest everybody if they wanted to.
But that's a heady ball club, Tim.
They're on scholarship there or not?
Hell, they's on scholarship, too.
That's why I'm looking at Darius Robinson going into this week, because there was times against Vandy where the defensive line looked like they were running quicksand. Like, quarterback had all day, and I don't care what team you're playing. If you give the quarterback all day, they're probably going to move the football pretty efficiently. So if Darius Robinson, who's a stud, a defensive captain, is playing on a healthy calf, then I'm much more confident. But yeah, Tim's right. The defense is, at some points, is really soft, which is a shame because there's some real studs out there. I mean, Rakestraw and Chris Abrams-Drain and Chad Bailey are really solid, but if you can't get all 11 on the same page, you are going to struggle in the SEC.
I don't know that they had a sack until that last fourth down there late in the game.
Right. Big sack, but yeah, needed it in the first, second, and third.
Someone better start pinning their ears back.
Yep, it's time.
Wide base.
And put your hands in the dirt.
So you want them to put their hands in the dirt and then pin their ears back?
Yes. That's what I'd like. And go after the signal caller. That would make a difference. I don't know why the defensive coordinator hadn't told them that.
Yeah, you thinking about speaking to the team?
I may go
Saturday
up there.
morning?
I may go up there one day this week.
Jackson, you're going after the hit and giggle.
That's the plan, man. That is the plan.
You got tickets yet?
Fight Tiger.
Pretty confident in my ability to acquire them. And, yeah, the plan is to be there.
It'll be a sellout, don't you think?
It's sold out.
Oh, it's already sold out.
So how are you going to get tickets?
Well, my buddy has season
He's
tickets.
on Oatmeal.
Oh, my buddy. I went to Ladue. We
Yeah,
got season tickets around here.
that's what that screams.
My buddy has season tickets, but he shares with his family, so he's not 100% positive that we are going to get them, but he's pretty close to confident.
Just tell DRF you're on Balloon Party.
I don't know if that holds the same. If I walk into the Blues game, they obviously know that already.
They do.
But with the Missouri game,
Peter Puck.
I might have to wear a one-on-one T-shirt or something.
You think tickets will be pretty expensive online, secondary market?
Yeah, I think they'll be. I mean, it depends. Expensive is a relative term, Doug.
Well, like over $100.
Wow, that was wealth shaming.
Of course, yeah. I'm a South County guy. I don't know much about money.
Right.
So you think $100 or more for a ticket?
I'd say in that probably 100. I'd say $75 to $150 for a ticket. I'd say anywhere in that area.
Had the networks exercised the 6-day window, I think Missouri would have wound up at the 11 o'clock time slot. LSU losing and Kentucky winning. I think if they would have had the opportunity to use the 6-day time slot, they probably would have gone Georgia, Kentucky.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then A&M and A&M and Alabama, because Alabama looks like they've righted the ship. No surprise. Granted, they did it against Mississippi State, but they did beat Ole Miss, and they just shut down Ole Miss's offense. I mean, my God, Ole Miss scored, 10 points in that game? And they just put up 50-plus against LSU? LSU's defense is...
Secondary market, the cheapest you're getting in right now is 90 before fees.
Fight, Tiger.
I like that.
Go. Fight.
You're right, Tim. Even with the window, it's probably still on.
It's an 11 o'clock game.
Oh, yeah. This game is
and listen, I understand it. It's just unfortunate because the following week, I think there is a chance, unless they exercise the 6-day window, that Missouri-Kentucky's the 2:30 game.
Yeah, very well
Not
could be.
because of anything, because they're going to have to make that determination today unless they do go with the 6-day window. If you look at October 14th, it's Georgia and Vanderbilt. That in 2:30.
Was that in Athens?
It's in Athens.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's most
was in
likely going to
Vandy.
be, something along the lines of 50 to... I mean, you never know what the hell Georgia does at the start of games. It seems like they're bored and then they get going. Arkansas at Alabama. I can't imagine, considering Arkansas, Alabama's in Fayetteville, I'm sorry. Missouri, Kentucky. That one is... This says it's at home.
It's in Lexington, isn't it?
It's in Lexington. I know it's in Lexington. I don't know what I'm looking at here. A&M in Tennessee. I suppose that could be.
It's probably going to be there.
A&M Tennessee 2:30.
Bigger brands.
It would be great if Missouri could play Kentucky in the morning.
Yeah, that would be a huge advantage.
Statistics show that it is tougher to win on the road, or to win. It's easier to win on the road. Excuse me. Yeah. Those 11 o'clock games. Again, it's a matter of percentage points, but still, I'd prefer, if you got a road game that's important, I'd much rather have an 11 o'clock kickoff. And if you got a home game that's important, something in the afternoon or at night. Auburn, LSU, I think that's lost its luster.
Yeah.
And then Florida against the Gamecocks. That's it.
Yeah, it's a pretty weak...
Georgia is playing Vanderbilt, and so I feel like somebody's off, and I'm just not able to think of who's
Ole
off.
Miss?
Ole Miss is off, that's right.
Yeah. So I think if you can get Kentucky, and they might exercise it, because although I don't know if they want to exercise it when they have such crap, so it's kind of
right.
It's kind of like, even if Missouri were to lose to LSU, the Missouri-Kentucky game is still probably better than most of those games.
Mm-hmm. They're just neither one of them are national brands.
That's the problem, and some like A&M and Tennessee are. And so that could just automatically, but they won't put Georgia Vanderbilt at 2:30.
You got Oregon against Washington that week, and that is a huge
That's
game.
going to be a sick game.
That is a huge game. So I don't know. They'll probably want to count. It's kind of like they put Missouri LSU to counter A&M or Texas and Oklahoma. Just go, okay, we're not going to get the most viewers here. We'll bury this one here.
Yeah. So we find out that today at noon, right? 12:30.
Should find it out at noon. USC Notre Dame also, but that's a night game.
In South
Then
Bend.
that means Missouri Kentucky is going to be a night game in South Bend.
Oh boy, yeah, that's going to be.
There's my play. Night game, Kentucky.
The
Not
last
good.
time, 2021, they played at night in Lexington. It went poorly for the Tigers, but that was a Connor Bazelak-backed Tigers. So it's a new era, new zoo.
He's still quarterbacking at Indiana?
No, I don't think so. I think his collegiate career is over.
What's Matty Mock doing these days?
Doug?
Horse.
Gosh, I don't know. He's been out for a while.
Been a decade.
Yeah.
Damn near a decade. He quarterbacked the Tigers against Roll Tide in the SEC championship game in 2014.
Until that unfortunate
guys, Kentucky, this is Larry Thornton. As you know, Doug, I'm a Larry Thornton lemming. Kentucky presses for night games in October to not conflict with racetracks.
Oh, brother.
What?
Like horse racing
Why
tracks?
should college football care about what's going on with racetracks?
Well, there's a bunch of them there, so I'm sure some of them have to be racing during the day on Saturday.
Well, they are, but who cares?
Well, they
Other
better,
events happen.
They better take that into consideration and give us a bowl before Christmas.
Yeah. Should we want day games here? Because, hey, the Cardinals are usually in the playoffs. And they might play at night. That doesn't make sense to me.
James Carlton makes sense to me.
Yeah.
314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm, 325 5-star reviews for James Carlton, our insurance agent here on the program, and I recommend him to you. You will see those 5-star reviews, and what they're going to talk about is the incredible customer service you get from James. He usually joins us on Monday, but today he will not be in, but we love that James Carlton. I am so happy I made the switch. I ask that you do as well. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. It's James Carlton, big Missouri football supporter. James Carlton, carltoninsurance.net. Jackson, tell the people about Circa.
Sure. Circa Sportsbook, Doug, it's in Illinois.
What?
The world's largest sportsbook in Vegas is coming to Illinois. It's here now, baby. The Circa Sports app is sports betting the way it should be. Big app bets, high betting limits, tight money line splits, and the best customer service. And the Circa Sports app is now in Illinois. So you head over, you start sports gambling in Illinois the way it should be done with Circa Sportsbook. Those tight money lines, they strive for that minus 110. They're not going to give you the minus 115 or minus 120 on these money line bets.
They like them tight.
Minus 110. They want it tight.
Okay.
You talk about KG and O-Town and Iggy's bet money line.
I don't think there's a bet.
But if it was, it would be a tight money line just like Circa. They're honestly doing it as a nod to Circa because the Circa Sports app is in Illinois. First, visit circasports.com for more details. Get ready to start betting like a pro.
Do it!
If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Doug, if you're going to have a cookout this weekend for the Missouri game,
Cookout. I don't have cookouts.
Should.
That's exactly right.
Barbecue.
You can slather it in that Andrea's barbecue sauce. How do you do? It's available at andreas.com or just go to Schnucks or Deerberg's and get it. Get that steak sauce too. I got some burgers from the smokehouse.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How were they?
I'm gonna use them for a cookout. I don't know about tonight.
Cookout.
I got a meeting at 3:30, and then my son's got soccer practice, and I don't think that'd lend itself to a good cookout.
You have to eat outside for it to be a cookout, right? You can't just cook outside.
Paper
You got to
plates.
eat it outside.
Paper plates, red solo cups.
Yeah.
Corn on the cob.
No cookouts at Andrea's off of Collinsville Road in O'Fallon, Illinois, though. It's going to be a world-class steakhouse experience. It's Andrea's. Check them out at andreas.com. Get the barbecue sauce, the steak sauce. Andrea's, a wonderful sponsor of TMA, and my goodness, is that barbecue sauce just so delicious. Send your emails in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for our Design Air heating and cooling email today. Coming up at 10 o'clock, Jackson and I are going to deal with the situation down the hallway.
There's a situation down there?
Well, the Blues lost in overtime to Dallas on Saturday night.
Gosh, who do we pin that one on?
Regular season start?
No, sir.
No. I
October
think
12th.
That was on Army.
Look at this.
That's on Army.
November 12th?
October.
Oh.
They were out there skating yesterday. My son had a skate, Centene, and there the boys were. Like less than 12 hours after getting back from Independence, Missouri.
Well,
Doug,
it could have just been half of them. They got a lot of guys on the team right now.
Yeah, they relegated a few more yesterday.
Yeah.
They're tightening up. Doug, Blues, and is the first home game the Kraken? Am I right on that?
I'd have to look and check on that.
And then the next game after that is at the Coyotes on a Thursday night. Am I right on?
I'd have to check on that as well.
And then they got Sid the Kid coming to town on a Saturday night. And that's at the same time as the Doggies in Seattle and Missouri and South Carolina, which will be a night game. Is that right?
Well, if you want the schedule, we got to get Douglas on the line. I don't have all these schedules.
Come on.
I'll look it up now.
Winnipeg. They go to Calgary. They go to Edmonton.
They got a little Canadian swing line now.
Yeah, Western Canada.
Then they go to Vancouver.
Yep.
San Jose. San Jose.
Now, which do you think is the pivotal game there? I'm thinking Nashville.
Yeah, I think the pivotal game going to be Nashville.
What is Crosby now, like 36, 35?
Sidney Crosby, you mean?
Doug, is that available anywhere, or should I look it up tonight?
No, you can't find that information.
Well, he mentions Sid the Kid comes in, and he's got to be pushing mid-30s.
It's 36.
Yeah. The schedule says the 12th they play Dallas. Would that be a preseason game, or is that the opener?
That's the opener.
Yeah.
Then the Blues home opener is that Saturday, I believe. Is that against the Kraken?
Seattle, yes. 7 o'clock start, Tim.
And then Thursday, they get a few days off, and then they get ready for those Coyotes.
That's right.
Is that the pivotal game?
It's probably the pivotal game of the year.
I don't know if that's a pivotal game.
It's good to get them at home because that building can be intimidating.
They play WPG on October 24th.
Kroenke wants to move Arizona to San Diego now. You see that? He's building a new arena in San Diego.
Yeah.
That'd make sense.
I guess. I don't know that the people in Phoenix have really embraced their Coyotes as much as you would have liked. I don't know if San Diego will be any happier about hockey than Phoenix, but maybe. It's worth a shot, I guess, if you can't even get a building to play in.
Doug, cookouts are topless. Thanks, Jonathan Titsworthy.
Yeah.
You should bring your burgers to Hit and Giggle Friday and just kind of
Well, you have a cookout.
Go off away from everybody else. You all enjoy this nice lunch. I'll be over here cooking my own burgers. Stay away.
Nice.
Really? You want them to stay away? Okay, I don't think
Got my own Andrea sauce. Get away.
I'm going to try my best to get off.
Oh, that was Weezer.
Well, anytime you're talking topless
Barbecues,
barbecues,
yeah.
I
Of
feel
course
like-
I was topless. Haven't you ever been to a barbecue?
That's what we were asked. Like we were out of line for not having nipple rings in while we fondle gentlemen.
I don't.
Send your emails in. Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. We close out our 8 o'clock hour at 9:15. This is TMA. Place your title sponsorship here and experience return on investment like you've never, ever experienced for your business from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Rosalitas know that a fun happy hour and scenic patio go together like fresh guac and chips. So take advantage of their covered patio this fall and winter at their De Pere location and enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6. Their sparkling margarita is made with Chambord raspberry liqueur and topped with a bottle of Rosé Prosecco. They also have a variety of delicious margarita flavors, including mango, pomegranate, and blood orange, all made with top-shelf tequila and Cointreau. With phenomenal service, great margaritas, and a breathtaking atmosphere, there's always a reason to come to Rosalitas.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with a great TMA sponsor, and that is Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. And you may hear a bunch of out-of-state law firms advertising here and there all over on billboards and so on and so forth. But the thing is, oftentimes their goal is to just settle and move on, and that's not what you guys do.
Yeah, this is CD Longo, and you hear us talking a lot about maximizing the value of cases, but what does that actually mean? Well, as Tim said, there's lots of personal injury lawyers in St. Louis, and everyone handles cases differently. We focus on getting the highest dollar amount for your injuries, not just getting a resolution quickly. We're constantly tracking all the settlements and verdicts in the area. This helps us advise our clients on whether a settlement offer is too low. And if the amount of compensation being offered is too low, we are happy to file lawsuits and proceed to trial to ensure our clients receive an amount that is fair. Visit our website or Google us at Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota, the presenting sponsor of Balloon Party on 101 ESPN, and the longtime 7 o'clock hour sponsor on TMA, and the official automotive provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. They have a secret number for our listeners to call or text with any questions or requests they may have. 314-252-0029. Call or text that number. Go shopping at stlouisacura.com or altontoyota.com.
Hey, you know, living in the country or in a small town has its benefits. You know your neighbors, you got breathable air, life is good, but slow internet is kind of the way it goes out here. Your video calls are laggy, websites load at a snail's pace. Well, there's one company that can help us folks out here. They're called Whisper, like whisper, without the H. They bring high-speed internet to rural places. No contracts, no hidden fees, with a satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Check them out at whisperisp.com.
Do you want to support the EDF Group as a sponsor of TMA? Well, it's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher where you work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hot and will prevent your facility from having hot fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at theedfgroup.com.
The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
Man, it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at tmastl.com. Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's sports talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
It's the morning after.
On KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
Pleasance is pleasance.
I got you, St. Louis. Red October. Tis the season. Hi. I come from a city where we celebrate October. Everyone you see is dressed in red like it's Rover. The luck is in our favor like a 3 on 4-leaf clover. Anything can happen where it's never truly over. Done it all before, we could do it all again. Yeah, we rallied with a squirrel and we made it to a trend. Had our backs against the wall, so we made that wall our friend. That's tradition in my city and it's never gonna end. If you looking for some heart, let me show you where it's at. Right there underneath that jersey, 2 birds on the bat. Greatest fans in baseball, we already on that stat. Every day's a holiday. Shouts out to Matt. That's October in St. Louis.
Take that, Doug.
Unless you're from the city, that made me to a man. 11 rings and counting, I'ma need another hand. But a dozen sounds better, so let's get this one for Stan.
Stan.
Rest in peace, Stan.
Dan, can't even say the whole name. Dan.
Welcome back. It's the morning after. You're at here from the Michelob Ultra Studios. Come on in, friends. The water is warm. EDF Group text inbox 314-881-TMA5. Design air heating and cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com.
And the water is warm here.
I think so.
It's always pretty warm here.
No.
We sure like our water here.
Hi, Iggy. You are correct. He's not here. He's not here, Tim.
He was here a second ago, wasn't he?
You are correct. They did sign Scherzer in December of 2021, so we won't consider him. But due to my own ignorance, I forgot about, don't you say Kodai Senga?
I hardly ever say that.
Who was signed in December 2022, and before you say who is Senga, he was their best pitcher this year and had a sub-3 ERA.
Yeah.
MJ, wealthy part of North City.
Where's the wealthy part of North City? That
MJ, call it again.
Lindell area, does that qualify as North City? Yeah.
Sorry.
That's probably
Bill real quick.
Who's Bill?
I don't know if there is a wealthy part of it.
Well,
MJ's from it.
Would Lindell qualify as North City?
No. Well, by Forest Park?
Central West End, that's not North City.
No. I think North City starts at the Dome.
Yeah. There used to be some wealthy parts of North City.
City Museum?
No, that's downtown, isn't it?
Yeah, be in north part of the city, though, no?
I don't think that's North City, no.
Okay.
Shouts out to Matt.
Rest in peace, Stan.
Stan.
That was a big, early 2010s thing to take a female vocalist and then pitch them up really high so they almost sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, yeah.
And use it as the chorus. I could name you 5 songs.
Name me 5 songs.
Good Evening by Mac Miller does it.
How about that, Doug? Good Evening by Mac Miller.
There's one. What a memorable tune that was.
Yeah, there's another one. I can if I got my old iPod from 2012 back, I could pull you up 5 songs at least.
Who has that, Herb?
It's probably at the bottom of some trash heap, some landfill in Earth City.
Oh.
Along with the Rams 2008 through 2015 seasons. Probably longer than that.
The Cardinals have nothing to hang their heads about except they failed to address the rotation, paid a buttload of money to a catcher to not catch, and sucked harder than the Chicago Bears. But hey, at least the B-Fib's got a sick guitar. That's some Carlos Spicy-Wiener.
Nothing to hang their head at all about that season.
All I got by
20 games under 500. This team did not quit, except that they quit, and about half the players said, you know what, I've had enough, I'm hurt. Other than that, nothing to be ashamed of at all.
If anybody has an extra one, I can use one for Gobble Bowl if you have an extra guitar from yesterday.
Oh. I might have thought you'd go down there to get one.
Yeah, it's too much hassle.
But you want someone who did face the hassle.
If you have an extra one, that's all I'm asking. I'm not saying give me yours. I don't want yours. If you went to the game and you got 4 of them and you only want 1 or 2, just got an extra one, fine. If not, no big deal.
Well, it sounds like if you got 4, everyone in the family got one.
Well, maybe he went with people he didn't like.
He went to the game with people he didn't like, so they're going to take their ukuleles away from them.
Maybe he took his wife, and she goes, I don't want this piece of crap.
Oh, gosh.
I'll give it to Iggy for gobble.
And here comes the begging. That's from Brian Hench and Doug. Colts losing to the Rams in overtime yesterday. Brian
Sure he was there.
will join us with his thoughts on that.
I'm sure he was there getting some nice quotes.
In B-roll.
I guarantee he wasn't there.
Well, you can't guarantee that.
I'll guarantee it. Were you there, Henshin? Yes or no? And don't lie. Because I'll call the Colts like I'll be Swope. I'm going to call the Colts and see if he was in that press box. Did he have a credential? It's Buck Swope calling for the morning after. Did he have a credential, please?
You think they'd tell you? I don't think they'd even
I
tell
don't
you.
think they share that information. Beg, beg, beg. You are the president of the damn charity. Get one your own damn self!
Oh.
Jesus, why must you make it so hard to be on your side? Doug, that's from Brian Henson, not answering whether or not he was at the Colts.
No.
I called the Colts. They said he was there.
Yeah,
Why is it hard to understand? It's for charity. All I do is ask. I'm not begging him. Come on, please give me one. No, if I don't get one, then there's not one there. I'm not winning the prizes. I don't care.
Welcome to St. Louis's favorite podcast segment. It's called Iggy's Off Ramp, where he uses the show as his own personal cardboard and Sharpie.
Well, it's not personal. It's nothing to do with it. I'm not walking away with
Iggy's Off Ramp.
I don't.
It's Arbor Day, Doug.
I don't have one in my house, and if I get one, it won't be in my house after Gobble Bowl. I don't keep anything, so. But whatever, just keep making fun. If you got one, fine. People reach out all the time and say, Iggy, somebody's supposed to give Jackson a bunch of stuff.
Got it already. It's in my car.
Oh, yeah. He just reached out to me and said, I got some extra, and one of them, I think, is a Stan Musial autograph picture.
Ooh, somebody's weeing just 10 feet from us.
Can you hear it?
That's me in my pants. I didn't have time to go.
Shut up, Henson! That's some dirty Chewbacca.
Yeah, you tell him, Chewbacca.
True.
Oh.
Where's Chewbacca from?
Chewbacca?
Chewbacca. What's that? Is that Star Wars or?
Yeah, it's
The
Star
Wookiee.
Wars.
Never seen
That's
one.
A 7-foot carpet.
Yeah, that kind of nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Chewbacca.
I don't
Who's
know.
that?
Kelly Tripucka. I think he's trying.
Oh, I don't know that either.
There's the
You have absolutely nothing to do. Go down and get the guitar yourself.
No,
Steve and Wildwood, Doug, and he's a chairman.
Well, listen, I would have had to put Ryder through the process of, okay, can you request a credential for me?
Why don't you request a credential?
No, I can't request my own credentials.
Yes,
we
you
have
can.
somebody here that does that.
Ooh.
I probably Ryder.
Midnight Rider, Doug, if you ever want to go to a game.
Yeah, but he does it for like people like
At that station who are actually
and
covering,
the game.
Well,
They're not just going to give you a credential just to get
well,
the
I've
giveaway.
gotten 3 of them this year, so I guess he can.
And you got those so you could get the giveaway?
Yes. I mean, I've been doing this for 4 years.
Okay, but yesterday you didn't want to go down there.
No, it would have been a madhouse. I mean, it's his last game. There's probably people in there that didn't need to be in there, like me. There's people that are actually there covering his last day, so it would have probably been a pretty busy press box compared to the other 4 or 5 that are up there every night, which is about it. I haven't ever seen a press box so empty.
Well, a lot of people lost interest. About halfway through the season, you could see that, nope, not happening. It's a bad, bad team. And that affects interest at every level, including media interest.
I did try to get tickets. I asked the girls in charge of our tickets if we had any for that day, and she said, we don't have any for Sunday.
Yeah.
That'd been easier to get a credential. I just walked in, grabbed the guitar, and walked right back out the gate.
How big a crowd they have yesterday? Anybody see the attendance number on that?
They announced 44,000, I think.
44?
Well, that was announced.
That's what they sold.
Yeah, that's sold. Did I ask the other day about St. Louis City 2, how much they're drawing, and somebody said they sell it every game?
Yeah.
There couldn't have been 1,000 people at that game the other night.
1,000? They didn't have 1,000 people?
I saw Lux did because she does, I guess, the PA for that.
Yeah.
And she had her live on Instagram while they were singing the national anthem, and then she gave announced the players, and she scanned around the stadium. I think this thing's empty. There's like 1,000 people there.
This was before it started, though?
Well, after the national anthem, the game was about to start. She was given the starting lineups.
I think a couple weeks ago they had 10,000 people there. I'm not saying that they do that every game, but I think that they had a bunch of people for one of their games.
One of the games, I was just asking what's their attendance for the year? People going to these games at St. Louis City, too.
I thought they were still selling them all out.
They made it for City. City and City 2 are two different things.
Oh, I know they are.
City 2 is the minor league team.
I know.
Yeah.
We were talking
clarifying
about,
for Doug.
but we were just talking soccer in general. About
But Iggy, you
they're
were talking
showing
about
up
the
for
big
all these
team.
soccer in St. Louis, and I said, what about the minor?
You heard it.
You heard it.
Yes.
The minor league team for.
The minor league team. Yeah, you
So
can't.
they're selling out. They're selling out. They had like 1,000 people there yesterday. So.
Yeah. Minor league is a different thing.
Hey, Donald, would you quit asking me about Randy?
What did I do? I didn't sneeze.
The drops aren't right. The drops.
I was just trying to figure out what to call the team. Minor league team, offshoot of their team.
The developmental team.
Developmental team.
Yeah, you got it.
City 2 has shattered MLS Next Pro attendance record twice throughout the regular season so far.
Really like that?
Twice. I asked about what are they drawing. People are talking about this is a soccer-loving city. They go to all the things. So I said, well, what are they drawing?
KG, apologize.
If I offended anyone, I just truly want to say I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
But again, this is the minor league team. Kind of all bets are off on that. I mean, the River City Rascals don't draw too many. Doesn't mean it's not a baseball town.
Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
Yeah, he would tell you.
Yeah. That's the goaltender for City too.
Wish we could get a conversation with Frank Frank.
I mean, she was mentioning names. I don't care if you follow soccer all your life, you wouldn't know who they were.
Doug, the Doggies, the #1 seed in the West. Unbelievable.
Pretty incredible. Yeah, pretty incredible.
I mean, unless Cincinnati wins the East on December 9th, you're going to be at City Park watching the Doggies, an expansion team, hoist the MLS Cup.
That would really be something. That would really be incredible.
How many teams make the playoffs?
18.
All those that qualify.
Oh, so they got to win a bunch of. They got to win a bunch of.
Well, 9 versus 8 in each conference play a wild card play-in game, and then the Doggies will play a best-of-3 against whoever wins that game, and then everything going forward is a one-game series.
Okay.
And they have home ice advantage.
Home ice.
At least in the Western
throughout the
Conference.
playoffs
on the pitch.
Yeah.
And where are the finals at?
It'll be in the city that'll host the championship game.
If Cincinnati does not win in the East and the Doggies win, it will be in St. Louis.
Wow. It'll be a big parade?
Most likely. I
If they
suppose
win,
it could be in
sure.
Orlando. Orlando's got 54 points. Doggies have 56.
Yeah, maybe I'll fly down for that.
Go to friendly confines. We can do a remote.
Can.
Nice. No way to catch Cincy in the supporter shield race.
Supporter Shield
That's
race?
the President's Trophy equivalent of MLS.
Oh, I don't like that name.
What's it called?
Supporter
Supporter
Shield.
Shield.
Supporter
I don't
Shield.
like that at all.
Sounds like a jockstrap.
Not at all. It does. With a cup in it. That's your Supporter Shield.
Mentalities, where you can get a supporter shield or get your testosterone treated. It's FDA-approved testosterone treatment online at lowtusa.com. Board-certified physicians who work with most insurance. If you're dealing with low energy, low motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, tired all the time, feeling anxious or moody, those are symptoms of low testosterone. The normal range for testosterone is large. If you've been to a doctor and they told you that you were normal without understanding the range or testing your free testosterone, it was not fully looked at. Come get checked with Mentality. Testosterone therapy helps men regain normal function and restores their ability to perform normally at all levels. Compete at work and at sports like you did years ago. Go to lowtusa.com with Mentality. Jackson, tell the people about Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies.
He's the great communicator, Tim. He's someone I work with. I actually need to have a call with Mark pretty soon. Just to check in,
Really?
Life changes. I've moved in the past year. Just talk it over with him. I love talking over with Mark Hanna. I really do look forward to when we get to chat because I love talking with Mark Hanna. And that's something that I think is so important because if you're looking forward to talking to your financial advisor, that means when time comes, when you're really, something's been thrown in your life where you really need to change something or need some advice, you give Mark a call, you're going to feel better getting off the call than you get on it. And to me, that's worth everything. Everyone needs somebody in their corner. I highly recommend using Mark Hanna because he's in my corner. And honestly, I would rather have nobody else.
Mark Cann is the only person I want in my corner.
Really, it's the only one you have, really.
It's the only one I need.
Only one needs 314-889-0503 or go online at evergreenstl.com. Glenn Betts Jewelers in business in St. Louis since 1941, operated by the third and fourth generation of the Betts family. The Glenn Betts difference is you are served personally, not sold. Glenn Betts Jewelers develops relationships through generations of your family as well. They get to know your likes, your lifestyle, and who and what you love, the 3 L's. They're online at glennbettsjewelers.com. That's GLENNBETZ jewelers.com, located 1 mile east of 270 on Manchester and De Pere. In the jewelry business, there is good, better, and then there is Betts. Doug, would you like to write a jingle of some kind?
Good, better bets. Never let it rest. Till your good is better, and your better is bet.
Wow.
I was in there last week.
Really?
Yeah, I just had to get a battery for my watch.
Nice. You see Craig? You see David?
Yeah.
Good people.
They have a battery for you, too, didn't they?
They did. That's why I went in there.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Great.
Glenn Betts Jewelers. GlennBettsJewelers.com. Support the sponsors. That's the name of the game. You on board with the show? Support the sponsors. Yeah. That's the name of the game. No one tracks minor league soccer attendance more than Ken the Hater Strode. That's in the YouTube chat. 303 friends of the Feather watching the program today. Usually it only happens when there's a lady around.
Yeah.
I didn't track anything. I just happened to see Lux's live Instagram, and she panned the crowd a little bit.
Doug Sarah Hovel says, why is the chair empty again? Is he on 2 shows? That's from Sarah Hovel.
Oh, boy, I don't get that one.
You must have a different feed than we have.
What chair is empty?
I'm sitting right here. So.
Come on, Hovel.
Doug, it's kind of a huge blunder that MLS.com does not take you to the soccer league's website.
Where else would it take you?
Real estate? MLS?
Oh, nice.
Multi-listing system or
something like that. Yeah.
Shave my shrubs?
Yeah. Shave Tim's shrubs.
Yeah.
SDS.
That's correct. Let's see. MLS is real estate.
Yeah, they need to buy that domain, maybe.
Wonder if it's up for snatch
How
grabs.
about why don't they just do MajorLeagueSoccer.com?
Yeah, that's probably what they do.
Nobody said City 2 sells out. Jackers is right. They got 10K last week. That's Steve in Wildwood. He's a chairman.
Did you go back and listen to that podcast from about a month ago when we talked about it? I doubt if you did. Somebody said they sell out every game.
Somebody said that City 2 sells out every game?
Yes.
Well, just because somebody said it doesn't make it true.
Well, that's true, but they said it, so I just...
I
have no clue what they...
City sells
I really think we were just talking about that one game where they had 10,000. I don't think anyone said that they sell it every game. I remember...
I wasn't asking about one game. I was asking about what are they drawing a game.
But did you ask that a week ago, or did someone just bring it up?
It was like a month ago. But Steve would remember because he's sober every day and he remembers everything.
Well,
somebody's weeing again.
Gosh.
God, we got a lot
so
of
many weirs.
small bladders in this building.
Well, there's 100+ people who work here. We're next to a bathroom.
This is a hotbed.
Hardly anybody uses that one, though. They always use the big one.
Well, obviously they do. We can hear them weeing constantly.
It's probably the same.
There's a
It's probably
strong
Rafe
customer
again.
base. There's a better customer base in City 2.
It's probably Rafe. Supposedly Rafe had a great turnout at Funny Bone this weekend.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
King Scott opened up for him.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, we mentioned that when he was in here.
They've all got 15 or 20 minutes of stand-up ready to go.
I think King Scott said his sets were going to maybe be 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what the Plowhawk did at Ballpark Village.
Right.
Before he was scolded by the...
Well,
it's a great reviews.
Larry saved the day.
Rafe just brings in whoever he wants. He made us say, I got 3 people coming in today to do shows with me. He'll just bring his friends in and get some airtime and some quality time at the Funny Bone so he could have 4 or 5 people opening.
The audio levels in the podcast are all jacked. Tim sounds great as always, but Jackson and Doug sound too low. It's from the 314.
Well, no, it's on me. I don't usually run the board,
Come
so when
on,
I do, my mic levels, well, maybe not totally bad, are different than the Plowhawk, so it's going to sound a touch different. So I'll raise myself and I'll raise Doug.
Okay.
I'll put Tim right where he is.
Nice.
Keep Iggy where he is, and hopefully.
No, he didn't
trial
mention
and
me,
error.
so I must be fine.
Yeah, trial and error. So
Or else
apologies
it's the
on
guy
that.
Ignores me all the time anyway, so I wasn't put into that.
Oh, don't be upset by that.
I'm not. Just
You were left out, and so you're a little bit crestfallen.
I am not crestfallen. Trust me. Leave me out of your mouth every time.
Wow. Actions speak louder than word. Yeah.
Do you guys ever imagine what the flowing broth on the other side of the wall tastes like?
Oh.
That's from Deep Totem.
Yeah.
If you like our wares, they are available for you at tmastlshop.com, Doug. If you want to wear Brian Kelly grinding on the backside of a recruit to do this Saturday's Missouri game for the blackout game, it's available for you at tmastlshop.com. I've got a tmastlshop.com shirt on. Jackson's got a tmastlshop.com hoodie on. It's all available for you. tmastlshop.com. 10% off when you check out. Not a lot of guys get to wear a shirt of another guy grinding on a recruit, and you'll get that this weekend for the blackout. So what uniforms will they be wearing?
Oh, boy.
Black pant?
Yeah.
Black jersey? Black helmet?
pants.
All black everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that is going to...
It's a blackout.
Yeah, then it's going to be...
But what about clear eyes, gold pants can't lose?
They won't go gold pants because LSU is going to be in gold pants. So they won't do that.
Bring the anthracite back.
No, they won't do that either.
Anthracite, Doug.
They'll go all black. They'll go all black. I thought the uniforms this weekend were great.
Doug, do you like the uniforms at Vanderbilt?
No. What? They don't wear yellow helmets.
Well, Doug, you have to accept that this is the new color that they wear. It might not be like your favorite.
I don't have to accept it.
But they're not
You ask
just
me how
all
it looks. It looks bad.
They're not all of a sudden in the middle of the season going to be like, nope, we had it wrong. We're going to change
Why
all
do they
the
want to
colors
look like
of our
LSU
stuff.
now? Why? Why
They
would
look
you
more
want
like Iowa than they do LSU.
Iowa looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And Mizzou looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nice. Transitive property.
so.
Fun.
I don't think
Well, if they're wearing yellow, because they are. I mean, it's gold, but it's also yellow. And
Mike Kelly said both schools with their interpretation of gold as they line up for kickoff.
Vandy's is
Tipping
closer
cap to
to
Mike
actual
Kelly.
gold.
Yep.
Vanderbilt was wearing gold.
They were. And they looked
What was
sharp.
Missouri wearing?
Yellow.
Right. But that is the new gold.
The white
I
helmet.
understand.
The white helmet should always be worn if you're going to wear the all-white uniform. It should be the white helmet.
Why?
All white looks good.
No, it doesn't.
Looks fast.
Well, white with a yellow helmet doesn't look good.
No,
I
it
like
didn't.
that. I like the yellow dome. That look good.
Why do you want to look like some other school?
I don't. They look like Missouri to me.
They don't.
When they say Missouri across the chest and they have a tiger logo,
can't
I'm not
see.
like, oh no, who is that?
You can't see across
I
the
wonder
chest
who that
usually.
is.
Usually you can't see the chest. You can
I-
always see the helmet.
This is something you bring up. I've never once watched a Mizzou game and been like, where's Mizzou? I know where they are.
Because you're not old enough to remember when they looked good when they ran onto the grid.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
They used to have very distinctive uniforms, looked like nobody else but Missouri, and they looked fantastic. Now it's, I don't know what we're going to get.
It's a blackout game this weekend.
Yeah.
We just discussed that.
Oh, must have missed it.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
So
what brought up this whole conversation.
I would bet, and that actually, I think they'll go block M for the first time this year.
I hope so.
Block M.
I think they'll go
Gee,
block
who
M.
are we looking
Black
at?
helmet?
Michigan? Gee, a block, yeah, that must be Michigan. Stop it, Pinkle.
Pinkle.
He's the one who said that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I
Black and old gold.
I hope.
I agree with Doug on this. That's from the 314.
Old gold looked great.
Brian Henshin says those helmets were horrible. He also says, I was 100% there, you toasted prune. Good Lord. And you are 100% begging. I stand up for you against D-bags like that top hat wearing troll. He's a top hat wearing troll.
Who wears a top hat anymore?
Daniel Day-Lewis did in Gangs of New York, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he did.
and in Abraham
Yeah,
Lincoln.
Who are you standing up for? You just told me a beggar.
And you're here making me look like a moron. Gah! That's from Brian Hench.
All right, well, let's go to the Indianapolis Star and see if you wrote any articles about being there.
Watch out. Here comes Suck Boy Tony.
Heel, boy, heel. The old dog is attacking the new puppy because he is stealing his owner, Tim's, attention. Tim, take him out back. He's your dog. That's from caller Buzz.
That was one of the saddest movie scenes ever when Old Yeller got taken out back and put down.
And who are you talking about as far as stealing attention?
Buzz calling.
Henshin? He gets enough attention.
Wouldn't it be easy to go to the IndianapolisStar.com and see if Henshin had a...
Is that Indy.com?
I don't know.
I think it is. If Jackson had a good or bad site for his uniform takes, I'd find a Russian hacker to shut it down. That's from Newt Bowl eligible.
Well, that's the fun thing about takes is you can disagree with the take and have your own, and then we can embrace debate.
Oh, nice. Embrace debate.
Yeah, I like the Missouri. I don't think they've had a bad uniform so far.
Oh, God.
I think they've looked great. Once
How
they
about
got
the
rid
all-white when they had a tiger with a feather?
Oh,
in his
the
ass or
stormtroopers.
whatever? Yes.
So
What the
that might
hell
be
was that?
That's my favorite uniform.
Oh, dog! God.
The stormtroopers were as good as it gets.
Could have been any team in the country. You had no clue who was out there playing.
Yeah.
No clue.
I thought they looked beautiful. But hey, that's the thing about opinions. Is you can have your own.
Yeah.
Doug, let's say you had to bet. They're making you bet.
Mm-hmm.
Your financial advisor says, listen, it's just a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Says you got to bet who wins the game. I'm not spread over on. You got to bet who wins the game this Saturday.
I say Missouri.
Thank you, Doug.
I think they've got the
Jackson,
momentum.
you got to bet.
Missouri.
Okay. Yeah, and KG, you know where you are?
Absolutely.
I gather you're on LSU since you like them -21, but you won't bet them on the money line.
Yeah, LSU. I looked at 4 articles on the Colts, even a high school article.
There's a high school article on the Colts.
Henson's name's not on any of them.
Oh.
There's a Greg Doyle.
Well, maybe he wrote him and just didn't get the byline.
Joel.
Yeah, maybe because his name, his nom de plume is Greg Doyle.
Joel Erickson. Nate Atkins. That's 4 articles.
Those are good scribes.
And then a high school article by Kyle Niedenplep.
Okay, don't badmouth the guy because he's got a German surname.
Tiki,
Nothing wrong with
coming back to
Niedenplump.
football because you miss it, or are you coming back to football because you just had a big failure in broadcasting?
Gosh.
So what were you doing there? You carrying Greg Doyle's pens?
Oh, gosh.
Maybe he's working on a big profile. Anthony Richardson profile.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
A lot of times they have all the writers there to get quotes from the different locker rooms to feed the lead writer. He may not be the lead writer, but he's still part of it.
So he's basically just a schlepper.
I don't know that
Go in there,
it's a
get quotes,
schlepper.
and give them to the writer. He'll do the article. You don't do the article. Just get quotes for us. That's what radio stations do when you go get
Well, I think
sound
they have
bites.
guys that do that, and then they have other. He might type the news and notes type of thing, and it's still covering an NFL team.
Not really.
There's
Well, what is it covering then?
I don't know. They're just sending them because they're short bodies. So get on there and get a quote first, and then get home.
They tell him to go home.
Don't write anything. Just
Can't
get
even go back
quotes.
to the paper or go out and get a bite to eat. You go home.
Yeah, get quotes for never schlep, and then
never schlep.
Whoever that guy was, and then you go home.
Ken just passive-aggressively took a shot at KG for not knowing you all had talked about something weeks ago, only to then have a little stroke and forgot something that happened 5 seconds earlier on today's show. That's from Arbor Day.
I didn't forget it. I didn't hear it.
This Saturday's a blackout game, I'm reading.
Yeah, we've covered that a couple times.
It's funny.
You know, it could be hot. It could be 80-some-odd degrees and everyone's wearing black.
I know. So I'm like, when the great Peter Repp was designing these shirts, I'm like, make them yellow, because I was looking at the forecast, and then I go, oh, it's a blackout game. You know, it's a blackout.
No.
And
This
so,
Saturday?
Looks like a greyhound.
That's not the shirt, though.
Oh, I thought that was a shirt. I didn't look at it. I just saw it there. I figured you brought in a new one.
No. So it's a black shirt because it's a blackout.
Yeah.
Fight Tiger. Jackson, you'll be wearing black?
Oh, yeah.
Fight Tiger.
Will they let you in the stadium with some guy grinding on a player?
Yeah.
He won't do that as he walks into the stadium.
I wouldn't put it past
You
him.
never know. Anything to fire the boys up after that loss in
What's
Oxford.
on there? What if an usher says, "What is that?" Oh, that's that's Brian Kelly grinding on a recruit.
Then I'll watch Topless.
Come on in.
I'll watch Nips Out.
Oh.
Yes.
Nips Out for drink.
There won't be anyone topless at the game. will
Oh,
there?
hell yeah, there always there's
Student section.
students that are in the front row.
Oh,
They're
a couple
topless.
that paint their
Yeah.
letter on.
Do you see the Ole Miss student? Did you see the video of that?
The one up on the
Dropped
goalpost.
like a bad habit.
He ran up. He's yelling. God, I almost dropped the F-bomb. I've never done that in 25 years. F LSU as he's running on, and he runs up to an LSU player who then just like
Might have been the biggest human I've ever seen in my
oh
life.
my God. And then he starts yelling and calling him a 5-letter word for cat or kitten. And then like the Ole Miss fans like this shows that Brian Kelly has no discipline over his players.
Yeah.
And it's like he ran up to the LSU player right after he lost in the final seconds of a game on the road, told him to F off, and then he shoves you aside, and somehow the LSU player is the bad guy.
Right.
Phenomenal.
With 5 guys holding him back and
Yeah.
calling him the P word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice.
And this storming the field has got to stop. I mean, you beat LSU, big deal. And you storm the field. You're at home. You beat LSU, and you storm the
It
field.
was kind of a half-assed storm. It seemed like they got.
I was surprised. I have to say, I was
agree.
surprised by the storming of the field. I think the Missouri storming the field against K-State was because of the way that it happened.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If it had been like a kneel down or something.
Like I mean, LSU's still a brand, and they still might be one of the best teams in the country, but they're a 2-loss team. And so it just doesn't have the same.
If you run onto the field and confront an opposing player, whatever happens, happens.
Absolutely.
If
You're the
you
one
get-
trespassing.
Yeah, if you get decked, you get decked.
Yeah, 100%. And it seems like the recent storming is like if the first row of fans go, then everyone just goes.
Yeah,
it's
you
not
feel
like
like you have to.
It's not like the AD for Ole Miss was like, bring him on the field.
It's like a standing ovation. Someone stands, I guess I
Right.
got to stand.
Right, but yeah, the kid, and then there was also a guy who was on the goalpost and did a front flip.
He did a
off.
front flip off there.
And he almost that was almost his last moments of life because he was hammered. And if he
Oh,
landed on
really?
his
Oh,
neck-
my God.
He landed on his feet, luckily, but like folded up like a cheap tent.
This probably could have been college game day here if LSU would have played the cream puffs Missouri played. They'd both be 5-0. LSU would probably be in the top 5.
I think, that was a shot.
Hard to beat that Kentucky-Georgia matchup, though.
No, it's Texas.
Texas,
They're going to Texas, Oklahoma.
Both
it's the last
undefeated.
one in the Big 12, and they're both undefeated. I mean, that was always going to be.
No doubt. Or you go UW Oregon, like that's even.
Well, that's the follow. That's October 14th.
Oregon's playing somebody else. There's another.
Who's Oregon
There's
playing?
another good
Oh, they'll
matchup.
face
Or Oregon
another
State.
tough
There's another
ball club.
Pac-12 matchup that would almost take precedent.
Yeah, I think we looked a couple weeks ago where we were thinking, could they possibly come here? And I think we looked and said Texas, Oklahoma, that's where they go. That was really the only other game that would have.
That's correct. Now, as it played out, Kentucky, Georgia would be live, but I don't know if they would waste their trip to Georgia for Kentucky.
Yeah, probably.
Like Kentucky, but again, it's not. I don't know if it's not fair. Kentucky, I mean, they had a kid, and I can't think of what his name is. He ran for 275 yards on Saturday.
Davis, was that his name?
Was it Rock Davis?
Because he overtook Cody Schrader as the SEC's leading rusher.
Yeah, about 275 yards. I go, wonder what the hell they did to beat, because I didn't see it. I saw a guy ran for close to 300 yards. I mean, that's getting up into Trey Mason land. It's still not there, but it's up there. I thought it was Rock Davis, but hell, I don't know. Anyway, running back. That Kentucky still has the same perception nationally and in the SEC is, well, they can't be real. But if I'm not mistaken, Kentucky...
Ray Davis
challenged Georgia within the last couple of years. Obviously, Missouri did last year. Nobody played Georgia better than Missouri did. I guess Ohio State in the semifinals. So I don't know how good Kentucky is. Kentucky hadn't really played anybody up until Florida, and then the question goes, well, how good's Florida? But then if you go, how good's Florida? Oh, then you go, how good's Tennessee? Because Tennessee lost to Florida, and hence, by a pretty substantial margin.
The game I was thinking of would have been Wazoo going to UCLA, but UCLA just lost to Utah. So if UCLA would have beat Utah, both undefeated in LA, could have possibly been a more.
I think you got undefeated Texas and Oklahoma,
There's no
and there's
doubt.
just there's no way.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's
Kind of
no way.
ironic that the best conference might be the Pac-12, and schools are leaving like rats deserting a sinking ship.
Yeah. I mean, but it's with the Pac-12. It's like, where has this been for the past 15 years?
I would have loved to see USC in the SEC. Just kick Texas A&M out of there.
Well, geographically, the ACC makes a lot more sense.
Well, yeah, it does.
None of it makes
Travel
any sense.
3,000 miles every game day.
Go, Tiger.
And Caleb Williams, another great guy. Nice old guy. He's so much fun to watch.
You watched him again this week, didn't you?
Yeah. That Deion Sanders Coach of the Year looking.
Doug?
Yeah, they're finally playing decent teams.
Well, who is coach?
Their best player.
Who is Coach of the Year? He might be Coach of the Year right now. If the season ended right now, he might still get it.
It's drinks to lose.
Oh,
now we're talking, KG. Later in the clubhouse.
Doug, you said Eli Drinkwitz, Coach of the Year?
I would say it's Deion right now. If you're talking about taking a program that was just going nowhere,
So if
falling
he wins
apart.
you said if
put
he
it on
loses the
map.
rest of the year, he's still going to coach.
No,
the
I
year?
said if the season ended now, he'd probably be the guy.
3 wins.
Probably. Who else would it be?
Probably Lincoln Riley.
Maybe. I'm just talking about for a guy who really made a difference. He's made a huge difference.
Yeah, he has. He's getting people who wants to come there.
But it's drinks to lose, I hear.
Thank you.
Well, then he will. So.
Meanwhile, Dennis Gates,
Fight Tiger.
another 4-star, coming to the University of Missouri.
That was
cut down the
that
nets.
was last week, right? Or was
Nope,
there
this
another
weekend.
one?
Trent Burns, 7'3".
Where's he from?
Houston, H-Town. What's up?
7'3", so they're going to maybe play a different style?
Nah, he can shoot and he's got ball skills.
It's time for the Design Air Heating and Cooling. Yay! Iggy strode whilst caddying for Tim. We won a Saturday. We beat that guy. A good caddy is worth 6 to 8 shots a round. October 2023. Get out of the way. You're a caddy. Speaking of Tim, I saw an interview with Robert Redford saying that his inspiration for the Natural is based on Tim. Redford said he turned down the role numerous times, saying it was just unrealistic for somebody to make a comeback like Roy Hobbs until he heard about Tim coming back from that shoulder issue. But this email is about sweaty, shirtless guys. Yeah, you guessed it. I'm talking about that scene in Cool Hand Luke. And I know what you're thinking. Paul Newman, or maybe even Strother Martin?
Strother
Martin, yeah.
No and no. And get out of here with that noise about that soap-upped gal washing her car. Rent the damn movie, and I got a C-note saying you will be playing with yourself when that George Kennedy takes his shirt off.
Oh.
You are welcome.
Gosh.
George Kennedy from The Naked Gun?
Yeah, that was him.
What's he getting now? Water boss? Go ahead. I think he was like on the chain gang or something.
That's from Max. Middle initial is E, and then the last name is Pad. Jackson, what's wrong? You're throwing up your hand.
Where's my email today?
Doug, where's his email today?
What?
Plowsy said about 3 weeks ago.
Call
It's lost.
Plowsy. But he was calling. It came back.
No, he was using some different one.
Can you just hum or something?
No.
There, okay, we got some backup.
Yeah, that's great.
Ann Young, the silence after Ken's half-cooked USC should join the SEC, but was life-giving. Nothing but peace. Then some panicked nose whistles whilst he tried to pivot before face planting. Thanks, that's from number one Asian intern Brian Enchin. It's my birthday month, sluts.
Well, I didn't expect a huge discussion on it. I just said they'd be fun to watch in the SEC. Yeah. End of story.
Sure. Brian
Nice email,
Hitchin.
though. Oh. It's one of 3.
I'm in the filtered file. Oh, what's this?
That's the best I can do, I
That's
guess.
something, okay. You're doing your best.
That's good.
What up, world? Oh, you like that?
I don't care.
Beneath the show?
Great morning to be a Tiger. Drink takes care of business against the nerds in Nashville. And all of a sudden, Brady Cook looks like a Heisman candidate. But this email is about Dennis Gates and the #1 recruiting class in the country. Dennis doesn't need heavy machinery to get recruits, nor does he feel the need to scold the fans at the post-game presser. He just cucked the whole state of Arkansas by signing their best player. We finna be cutting down a net soon if he keeps this up. Look out, Bill Self. We're coming for your hole.
Oh.
Hey, Doug, watch this. Hey, I'm a stepdad, and yep, I'm a Tiger. Fight Tiger. That's from Tiger Terry.
Wow, nice email.
Jackson, you writing his Tiger Terry?
He's new.
Living my truth.
Take my thighs.
Oh.
Squeeze his face.
Ah.
Sitting on Doug is my favorite place. That's from the Sick Pistol.
Didn't care for it.
The filtered file.
Sick
newbies
pistol.
coming in today.
He's new.
Hold on a second.
There's no winner so far.
Since when is it legal to broadcast a bunch of Texans crapping to bed on TV? A group of Americans haven't had such an awful trip to Europe since the Griswolds in 1985. Team USA showed up for a hit and giggle, but the Europeans were ready for a gangbang, which is why watching the Ryder Cup actually reminded me of the last time I visited Europe. As soon as I landed in Italy, I too was aggressively sodomized for 72 hours by a burly Spaniard and a handsome Swede. And just like those American golfers, I didn't put up much of a fight until the third day either. We both took a solid pounding in like the 2023 Ryder Cup. Doctors describe my backside as a total blowout. Not a pretty picture unless you're aroused by mangled birthday holes. At least I didn't cry about it on TV, though. There's only one thing to do after you've been manhandled by a dozen European dudes like that. Clean up the mess in your undies and admit your vacation was a disaster thanks to the bearded guy's unyielding penetration.
Gosh.
Well, throbbing aside, at least I racked up a bunch of frequent flyer miles. 4, please, JV golf coach, now gaping.
JV golf coach. Now gaping.
And finally, Sadie Hawkins, Doug. The Cardinal dumpster fire season is finally over. The Doggies won again and have now clinched the best record in the Western Conference. Mizzou took care of business in Nashville to remain undefeated. The Americans lost their 7th consecutive Ryder Cup on the other side of the pond. Pat Mahomes cost a bunch of degenerates money by sliding at the 2-yard line. But I think the lead is where Jose Quintana was projected in the Mets rotation at the time he was signed before he got hurt.
That was in the 8 o'clock hour.
We needed to get to that.
8 o'clock Eastern. As we all know, Max Scherzer pitched for the Mets in 2022, so he wasn't signed in the same offseason as Verlander and Quintana. But they did sign, Doug, you say Kodai Senga?
I don't really say his name very often because I don't know how to pronounce it correctly.
Out of Japan, who almost certainly would have been projected as the number 3 ahead of Quintana given the value of the contracts. Iggy had the cards but didn't know how to play them as his counter hinged on the cost-controlled back-of-the-rotation starter, David Peterson. And then an hour later, after going to his phone to check for important emails to reply all to, he bopped on over to Baseball Reference before hijacking a college football discussion to declare Max Scherzer was on the Mets in 2022. Is that a new report?
No.
No, somebody DM'd me. I already said he did, but DM said you're right, Iggy. He was signed in 2022, and you just said it yourself. Quintana would have been 4th instead of the Japanese guy they signed.
Can we get
So
over
he wasn't a 3rd.
Quintana? He's gone.
My God, you just answered your own question.
He was hurt all year.
I'm not voting for the guy anyway, so go ahead.
Reminds me of the time in March 2015, a technical error that caused Willie to tweet out mid-show, Cardinals to sign Pat Neshek, who had in fact been signed 13 months earlier.
Oh.
I've never done that.
Let's say you went to Brown. Would it be creepy to keep a cardboard cutout of a married female work associate next to my workspace? It would. Okay, what if I just replaced it with a sticker of that same female work associate?
Don't worry about what we do here.
That you wouldn't know was her unless I told you. Does it matter that I once gifted her a stuffed panda? Or that I've begged her to caddy for me at a 9-hole par 3 round of golf on Friday? I'll hang up and listen, Doug. That's Buck Swope.
Yeah, with a nice little email today. Buck Swope. Swope.
No, we know you're voting for. Just go ahead and spit it out.
Well, I thought Buck Swope was very strong.
Great. Yeah, he was
Very
wrong with
strong.
everything he said.
I don't know that he was wrong.
Quintana would have been a 4th if they signed the
very
Japanese guy.
strong.
Well, then he wasn't a 3, was he? Dumbass.
Oh, gosh. I feel like you're campaigning against him.
What do you vote for? I'm not voting
No,
for him.
I'm
You
going
do
to
what
vote
you
for
want.
Tiger Terry.
I'm going to vote for Tiger Terry.
Oh, my God!
God.
Tiger Terry is the leader at the Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Month standings for the month of October. What a month it's going to be when Missouri exits that month undefeated and getting ready to go between the hedges.
Gosh.
Is that November 14th?
I don't have the dates, Tim.
4th?
I don't know the dates.
Typing.
Someone's typing to try to find it.
Feverishly.
Yeah.
We don't ask questions. We don't have
November
the answers.
4th.
Yes!
November 4th.
They call it between the hedges because they had a couple of bushes there in the
No, because the
end
field
zone.
is ringed with a hedge all the way around.
I see it in the end zone.
Fight, Tiger.
It's on the side, too.
Beat doggies.
I never seen it on the side.
It's there.
Between the hedges. God, so then they'll be undefeated after winning in Athens, and then Tennessee comes to town? Well, then they got to have game day then.
You would think.
Fight, Tiger.
We never know.
Beat volunteers. Jackson and I are going to go fight.
There's a
We're gonna
situation down there.
There is. We will talk about the Blues losing to the Stars in the preseason because Jeremy Rutherford's with us at 10:45.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Okay.
You have anything you want me to ask him?
Who's big for us this year?
That probably is what he's going to get. And then we got the Little Piddles weekend wrap-up brought to you by Angry Beaver. Time for us to shut it down. Bye.
All right, here we go. Here's something new. Announcing the first ever TMA Hit and Giggle. Brought to you by Michelob